Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Vigilance Committee. Tonight is an open panel, although we are going to stick to a certain type of subject today. We're continuing our conversation about what is really going to affect change in the auditing community with our government. And I've got four videos that I wanted to show. Two of them are the same subject or person of interest on one, and then two channels picked up a story on another. So tonight we're going to kind of show a little bit of a contrast, not much. They're both fine gentlemen, auditors. One is pretty serious about affecting change that we know of, and the other one might be wanting to affect change in a comical way. So that's kind of how we're going to do the show tonight. It is an open panel, but we are going to show these videos first and then continue that discussion from our discussion on Sunday. With that said, I am going to go ahead and play our intro. Here it comes. All right, and Nikki, before I get started on playing the videos, oh, she just dropped off. Her internet must have went out or something. We'll wait for her to get back in. I was going to say, let's go ahead and look at the chat and see who all has shown up for us here. So I'll start from the top that I can see anyway. Let me go up here. All right, so we got SC, South Carolina Phoenix Volunteer in the house, STD 58, Mr. Nikki, good to see you. And thanks for being here, STD 58. You've been a big help as a moderator. Juggalasis is in the house, and then let's see who else we got in here so far. I know more people are going to be coming. Chris Milkey, good to see you.
Yeah, remember what we were talking about earlier today? How it might be you who loses internet or power or whatever for some reason. Mine did it, not yours, mine.
Well, I'm glad it was only a real temporary thing because I can't do the show all on my own.
Yes, you can. I
No,
have faith in you.
Dale Elliott in the house. Good to see you, friend.
And just so everyone knows, guys, I myself am posting as the Vigilance Committee due to my computer is still at the doctor. So, when you see the Vigilance Committee, it's me, not Cliff. Cliff actually posts as himself. Hello, Fac. Thank you for coming in. Did you say hi to your face? Oh, never mind. I can't say that.
Stephanie Jenks is in the house. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have enough of that. Jim Dandy Media. I haven't seen Jim Dandy Media before. Have you?
Not in our channel, but I have seen them around.
Okay. Government.
That's a great question.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great question. And I actually want to create change so where at least we can tame our government. That's the change that we're looking for here, anyway. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't mind just completely getting rid of it. I'm one of those guys. Uh, not afraid to admit that. All right, Fact the Madness is in here as well. All right, good to see you, Fact. Okay, so I am going to go ahead, unless you've got something in addition, Mickey, before I get started on playing these videos. I'm ready to play them whenever you are.
Okay. The only thing I have to say is mods, until I get my computer back, I know I don't need to ask, but I am asking. Go ahead and post everybody's links, you know, to their channels, and you guys are doing such a wonderful job. A lot of times when I actually have my good computer, I'll go to post the link and it's already posted. But you know, you guys are doing such a wonderful job. Just a reminder, go ahead and, post links.
Yeah, anyone that has a channel, just post their link in here. Send people over to them to subscribe. Um, yeah, including old guy Mitch. I think he's a great moderator. He's also got some videos that he puts out. Not really 1A, but I mean he's kind of cool. I like him, and he's supporting our channel, so we'll support him back. Um,
Well, I really like his avatar, that
I did, I did
fuck
too.
around and find out.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody else says that too, and I like them as well. So, all right, so
Yeah.
let's go ahead and play this first video. This one is comes from us for us from somebody that says, "Please don't record the police." Um, and as you can see, pretty huge channel here. So he's a big name guy. And I believe just by him showing other people's work, it's helping to affect some semblance of change, hopefully, just by getting the word out as to what's happening to members of our 1A community. And I can tell you the Siberian Tiger is he is mainly a cop watcher, but I'll tell you what, he's an activist. This guy is, I can, just by watching his videos, I can tell that he really does want to affect change as well. So I do want to show this little clip here. It's only 4.5 minutes long. And James really articulates this pretty well as to what's actually happening. And it's very educational, especially for folks that are not in the 1A community. General pop out there can really get a good understanding as long as they can understand that James Freeman is kind of sarcastic in a way. Okay, here we go.
Back there. Go back over there under the sidewalk. Go, guy.
You're going to be arrested for interfering if you don't do what you're
Please
told.
go back. First of all, you need to let me go.
On August 20th, 2024, Siberian Tiger noticed Portland, Oregon police and walked up to do his civic duty of recording them.
First of all, does everybody believe that it is our civic duty to record police? Put a one in the chat if you agree with that assessment. Um, and if you've never really watched these types of videos, are not part of the 1A community or part of watching Cop Watchers channels, I really want to get your input on whether or not you agree that it would be our civic duty to watch our government and how they're operating, how they're working, to make sure that they're doing what's right. And if you don't agree, feel free, put a two in there. I would just want to know. I want to get an assessment from Gen Pop, so to speak.
Well, and I'll tell you, it is our quote unquote civic duty to watch our government, not necessarily record.
Well, but how do you watch the government, and if they do something wrong, how do you prove it?
You do FOIA requests for the body cam. You do.
Oh, they always give those to you?
I'm not saying that they do. I'm just saying it is our civic duty to watch,
Yeah.
okay, and to let people know if there's something wrong. But not necessarily to record. Yes,
Okay.
I understand your opinion, but not everybody has a camera, a recording device. I personally know one person who's very close to me who has no clue if his phone even has a recording device because it is a flip phone.
Mr. Nicky. Mr. Nicky's got to get up with the times. All right. Here, let's continue.
You guys okay?
As you can see, there's a small child running up and down the sidewalk on the other side of the road. It appears to be a traffic stop and they're searching the vehicle, but there's no tape and there's no actual crime scene. The area is not closed off to foot traffic or vehicles passing through.
Just so you know, you're being audio and video recorded.
All right, right there. I kind of wanted to stop it right there because you can see all three of these officers here. He got their attention simply because he has his camera. And so they want to let him know that they're watching him too. He's being audio and visual recorded as well. They're basically letting him know that they don't really like him there with the camera. Am I right? What do you think, Nikki?
Well, yeah, of course they're, because they don't want the unbiased, all-seeing camera to catch them doing something wrong.
And you've
Because
never
they have
seen this video, have you?
badges.
You've
No,
never seen this video.
no,
Okay.
I have not.
All right. Let's continue.
As we can see here with the guy in the yellow shirt, other people are allowed to walk through the area, just not the guy with the camera.
Hey, you guys stay back there.
Hey, did you hear him?
Stay back there.
Go back over there onto the sidewalk.
Yo, guy.
You're gonna be arrested for interfering if you don't do what you're
Please
told.
go back. First of all, you need to let me go. What are you doing? You're assaulting me right now.
Stand here. Don't
Name
go back
and
over there.
badge
You're gonna be
number.
under arrest.
You don't know how to.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, he's just a guy with a camera. As far as anybody knows, he could have been just trying to walk through and continue on his way. They know what he's there for. He's there to watch them. They automatically know this whenever there's a camera on them, right? They're assuming a lot, actually. Am I right? Or what do you guys think in the chat? Do they know he's there for that reason, or are they just making assumptions? What if he was just a guy with a camera and just looked for a little bit and then he was going to walk through and continue on? Did they have a right to stop him and then lay hands on him and bring him all the way back across the street, the opposite direction of where he was trying to walk? I mean, or is that a hindrance of right to movement? I mean, are they breaking the law right now by stopping impeding his? What do you say, people?
I mean, the
That's
question
false
is,
interest. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
uh,
let's put some answers up here.
if he was in the place they wanted him, why arrest him? So apparently Howard County Observer's seen this before.
Okay. Impeding his travel.
Yes, they are stepping on his rights.
And qualified immunity. Sometimes you just give the silliest answers. Okay. All right. So I think we're all coming to the same conclusion. They had no real right to stop him. Now, of course, you guys are supporters of the 1A community. I'd like to know what the general public thinks about it. Like, I mean, these cops, obviously, there are heroes and shouldn't get in the way of what they're doing, or were you really getting in the way, Siberian Tiger? I don't think he was, but okay, there's, two sides to it, I guess. All right, let's continue.
Assault me.
You're under
God,
arrest.
for what?
You're under arrest.
For what?
Okay, so yeah, for what? I mean, he basically went back across the street and then he just asked the guy for his name and badge number. It's like, what the hell? Now you're going to put cuffs on him after he complied?
For what?
Simply because he was pissed off?
Hey, relax. Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting. What am I arrested?
Okay,
I
gotta-
love that. Relax. Stop resisting.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can be
okay.
laying knocked out.
Yeah, listen to this
And-
next part that she says. We're just here in a second.
So you're under arrest. I don't know why. I'm just here.
Well, exactly. I don't know.
You're under arrest. I don't know why. I'm just here. She don't even know why the guy got arrested, and she's a cop. Watching another cop just throw a guy down, and say he's arrested. She doesn't know why. She's just there. She's just going to let this guy tackle somebody and arrest him, and doesn't know why. But she's a good cop, right? Right? She's a good cop. She's just there.
Well, if hang on. Oklahoma Outlaw Audits, welcome in. Someone was asking about you earlier in the chat, and I had said I saw you around. So thank you for showing up so nobody had to call and check on you. Anyway, now if, and this is the big if, after he's cuffed, if she were to say, what is he arrested for? And he comes up with some bullshit answer and she says, no, we can't do that, uncuff him, then yes, she would be a good cop.
I think Dale Elliott's assessment here is spot on too. That's why they don't want cameras around. They don't want to be caught doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. I think there's a lot of that, and I think that's why these cops hate people showing up with cameras, because then they don't get to practice their tyranny because somebody's going to see it. It's just my opinion, but I'm right, and so is Dale.
County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
A link. The arresting deputy was with Clackamas County Sheriff's Department.
Okay. Okay.
A link to this full video on Siberian Tiger's channel is listed below, as well as contact information for all of the agencies involved. Please, if you're going to record the police, don't do it from a distance that's close enough to be able to see and hear what they're actually doing. If you do this, you might be able to pick up or catch them doing something wrong. If you catch them breaking the law and publish it, the public could lose faith in them. Therefore, it's necessary for them to stop you from recording them.
Separate your legs for me. Thank you.
James is absolutely right on that. That very ending. I wanted everybody to hear that because that's. I mean, Dale and I have probably both seen this too, which I have. I'm going to admit it. And I knew that James was going to say that at the end. You might catch him doing something wrong. And so, I mean, we're not the only ones that think that way anyway. We've been watching these videos for a long time, and we see this kind of stuff happening, and we know why, because we've seen enough body cam footage to know that that's exactly what they're doing when they're arresting somebody from the 1A community. They are targeting them, and we need to get that stopped. We need to charge these cops with criminal charges, not just sue them. We should do both, but we should go after criminal charges first. James said it about a month or so ago, that suing isn't changing what's happening. So to affect change, these cops need to pay for their actions with criminal charges. How do we get that done? Especially when you got
Brandon
prosecutors out there.
actually, I'm going to drop this link in the thing. Brandon actually has an idea. You want to make change? Make cities suffer. It says Millersville will lose liability insurance this July following city's pattern of actions.
But Brandon, we have seen lawsuits galore where people have won judgments and everything. But has it truly changed the actions of these cops? It hasn't, because they don't have to pay for it. The cities do. The taxpayers do.
But if
So
the
yeah, we could
city,
do both.
if the city loses their liability insurance, then technically they'll have to not have a police force because they can't insure their police force. They'll have to go to the county for services.
Or what they could do is charge these cops with criminal activity, and cops will change their culture and not do it. The culture needs to change within these police departments. They need to stop violating people's rights. They need to stop going after cameramen. That's real change. Suing some these towns into oblivion where they don't even have a police department anymore. Hey, I'm for that too. But I also want them to have to go to jail for basically criminal activity. We violate the law, we go to jail. They violate the law, nothing happens to them. Nothing, because of qualified immunity. And look at that. Look who showed up. Clackamas County and qualified immunity. So Portland, basically. That's where this happened. All right, so that was James Freeman's account. Huge channel, right? Another channel did it too, and I'm going to present them. So if you haven't already, if you've been living under a rock and haven't subscribed to James Freeman, please do so. And Siberian Tiger, definitely take a look at his work, because this guy he's going to affect change in a big way at some point. But here's the deal. Siberian Tiger arrested, First Amendment. Oh wait, no, this isn't Here's the Deal. Oh, look at this. This is San Joaquin News Network, another huge channel. That's who that is. I got that confused with um, another video I'm going to play here in a little bit.
Hey, did you hear him? Stay back there. Go back over there onto the sidewalk.
Yo, guy.
You're gonna be arrested for interfering if you don't do what you're
Please go back. First of all, you need to let me go.
Going to be arrested for interfering if you don't do what you're told. Obey. Obey. General public, you better just obey. Anytime a cop tells you to do something, you better just do it. Because they're your daddy. Otherwise, they'll send you to jail. And that's all fine and well, right? That's good. Even you trolls out there that are against the 1A community. You believe in just doing what you're told. Just obey. Right? Just obey. Otherwise, we're going to take you to jail.
What are you doing? You're assaulting me right now.
Stand here. Don't
Name
go back
and
over there.
badge
You're gonna be
number.
under arrest.
You do not assault me.
You're
God,
under arrest.
for what?
Name and badge number because you assaulted me. So now he's just actually going to go ahead and do it because he knew the guy was going to file a complaint against him anyway. So let's just go ahead and do it. Ridiculous. Anyway, I just wanted to demonstrate that that these big channels are showing serious things without really, I don't think they're trying to trauma dump. I think they're trying to expose to affect change in a real way. And I think all three of these channels, Siberian Tiger, San Joaquin News Network, and James Freeman, are truly about affecting change. What does everybody in the chat think? Am I right?
Exactly. And qualified immunity. The big channels do help the little channels. The little channels help the big channels. The little channels don't amplify the big channels, but we are helping them by supporting them.
Yep. And the big channels amplify these smaller channels to help affect change in what's happening, to get that exposure out there. So yeah, that's a good assessment, Nikki. So this next one here, we're just gonna kind of move over to another channel, and this guy has never said, "I'm an activist. I'm going to affect change within our government. I'm, part of the 1A community." He's never said anything like that, so we don't really know, because he's never said anything. So we're not going to hold him to account. And that's To Apri. He is a comedy channel. He does basic public photography. So I think he is part of the auditing community in his own way. He just brings humor to it. I don't think he's really an activist trying to do everything he can to affect change within our government and root out government corruption and all of that. I think whatever happens to him when he's videoing happens to him, and he just lets people see it. It's more educational. Right, Nikki? What do you think?
I can't say one way or another. Like you said, he has not come
Yeah.
out and said that
Yeah.
he is an activist or whatever. But yes, he is educating the public with comedy rather than, I don't know, with disparaging remarks to the public who may not know their rights because it's not taught in school anymore. So, if people don't know their rights, then they need to be taught or educated. And the way to educate people is to be nice.
Yeah, not turn them
Don't,
into an enemy.
right.
Another frauditor channel out there because you pissed somebody off by calling them all kinds of names because they didn't know any better. Yeah.
And then because the government is supposed to be we the people, the more of we the people who know our rights, then that means the laws or the
We can
law
affect change.
enforcement is going to have to start paying
Falling
attention
in
to
line.
those rights.
Yep, they're going to
So,
have to fall in line.
right.
But you can't do that if you're just pissing off the general public and creating enemies of the 1A community. That's a good point. Well, okay. I don't think he knows all of his rights. In fact, um, as we get into this, I think you'll understand, especially from Long Island Audit when we show his, which might want to show that one first. Yeah, that's the one we're going to show first. This Long Island Audit kind of explains this to us of what happens to Tuapre and why, and what Tuapre does. A lot of people are calling Tuapre a bootlicker. And I don't think that's the case. We'll find out here.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Okay, here's the deal, bud. Are you under the influence of anything?
No, sir.
Not at all.
Nope.
Haven't taken any.
Yeah, no, back.
Tuapre, yeah. How you doing, man?
Okay, here's the deal, bud.
Yeah, see, so they recognized him. They know he's Tuapre.
But are you under the influence of anything?
No, sir.
Not at all.
Nope.
Haven't taken anything?
No. 1001.
Keep that foot parallel to the ground. Point your toe out. There you go.
1001, 1002, 1003.
His eyes are not pretty. They're pinpointing. You see the bloodshot, like the vessels?
Yeah,
He's on coke.
I'm still getting back bison today. If I get out, can I say? I'm a good dude. Can I stand here for a second? I'm not gonna
What you can do is you can scoot more that way and spread your legs out. Sorry, bud.
Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. In today's video, we are going to be covering the unlawful and retaliatory arrest of my friend and fellow YouTuber, Tuapre. On July 27, 2024, Tuapre was stopped by the Groveland Police Department in Florida for a window tint violation. Tuapre would have definitely benefited from having attorney shield during this interaction, and it might have saved him from going to jail. Stick around until the end for my thoughts after speaking with Tuapre. Let's get into it.
How's it going?
Officer, good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm Sponsorship Police Department. Reason for the stop is the windshield tint, okay?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, you got your driver's license?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to clarify. I'm gonna have to resolve the situation because I got a little court thing coming up for it.
Okay, for what?
For the freaking tint.
For the tint?
Yeah, so I got to see like a judge in like a couple weeks.
Okay, why is that?
Oh, because they pulled me over for the. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, I understand though. It's like against. You're not supposed to have any tint on the thing, and it's like a below a certain line, the AVS line or whatever it's called.
Yeah, one line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where you coming?
Oh no, I was just sleeping. So I'm
You sleeping?
So I'm just going to the gym now.
Okay, you stay at the Airbnb?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We get the registration and insurance.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. And there.
What kind of supplements do you take for the gym?
I try not to do too many supplements, but I do like chicken and rice shakes. I know that sounds weird.
Yeah.
But I prefer like animal protein as opposed to like whey protein because it's not as natural.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I honestly don't know because this says like where.
What is that, Nikki? Just Buxter. Hello, people, and Cliff.
Well, he wants to make sure he wants to make sure that you know that he is here, and he might just be ignoring me because I don't know. Maybe he's heard too much from me lately.
I just had to say something. I was like, "What?" I thought he might be calling me a beast or something. Hello, people,
No.
and Cliff.
No, just making sure that you know he's recognizing you. So.
Okay.
It says expired, but everything's all up to date. I don't know if you can look it up in the system or anything.
Okay. I'll go take a look. All right, just hang tight for a minute.
All right, take it down.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, Sergeant?
I'm doing
What's up, man?
fantastic. Please stop it.
Oh, for the tints.
I know you. You're
Not too pretty yet. How you doing, man?
you doing all right?
I'm sending to the gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand though. I know it's the thing.
What do you say?
So, what do you guys think? I mean, did he know better than to answer all these questions? Do you think he was trying to make a point like these cops are not your friends and he's just doing this to take an arrest? And I don't know. Are you guys actually seeing that kind of stuff? Or because I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat that are saying he knew better than to do this. And I don't think he did.
He knew better than to answer all the questions. He already told them, I have court in a couple of weeks about the tent.
Well, yeah, he was basically letting them know, yeah, I've already been pulled over for this, and I got to go to court on it.
You know, but
I don't know.
I'm sure he knew better than to answer all the questions. But like Bad Apple Media is saying, it could be all trolling from the get-go. Number one, they recognized him, so they knew who he was.
Do you think he was trying to use his status as a celebrity to,
No,
get out of all of
no,
this? Or
no,
because I don't think I didn't get that
no.
impression.
They knew who he was, so of course, anybody who is within the community, activist, auditor, I think we need to come up with a different name rather than First Amendment auditors, but that's my own opinion. But anybody who's within the community, once the cops learn who you are and can recognize you, then you get targeted because
Well, do you think this
they
is what Tuapri was trying to do? We all at one time thought we could tell the truth to the cops and be treated fairly, but we've all found out different. Do you think he was thinking back to old school that these guys would treat him fairly, and so he decided to give it a try?
he could have been. He could have been. I mean, I probably would have like, hey, okay, so you recognize me, but let me tell you, I already got to go to court. I understand about the AVS or whatever he was saying. So, I'm going to talk to you and tell you everything because, you know, you know who I am. I'm already going to court. Give me a warning. I'll take it to court too. And then we'll, settle it like that.
Okay, Phyllis. Just a content joke and doesn't give a crap about his rights. Wow, that's pretty harsh. I haven't made that opinion yet, but I can see where people might think that way. Um, I don't know. What he did here was kind of. I don't think it was out of malice or anything. I think he was truly just trying to get out of the situation and tried the old school way. Um, I don't know. It's interesting though that the different opinions, especially from 1A supporters, what differing opinions we're getting here. Very interesting. I didn't even think of some of these things before we showed his work and got some opinions here. So, all right, let's continue.
Window too?
Yeah.
Did you measure it already?
Oh, no, not yet.
Raise it halfway up. Raise your window about.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
That's all.
I got you. Take your time.
He's on his way to the gym. He's taking 3 years.
Oh, Jim, we absolutely know this. They're fishing. They went on a fishing expedition, especially since it is Tuapri, I believe, who does film the police, and they know it. And he trolls the police, and he does it in a funny way. And I believe that cops hate him, and he didn't realize they hated him until now. I think he knows full well now that they're going to fish and dig and try to get something on him, no matter what the truth is. So
I asked him if he took it himself. He said no.
Oh, searching that he's on 31.
Oh yeah, the hypocrisy and qualified immunity, and there's another channel that did that. Here's the deal. He pointed that out. He pointed that out big time. That these cops have really dark tinted windows. So laws for thee, but not for me. Yeah, and we all know this, but the general public doesn't understand it or realize it. You know, they don't have to follow the same laws. They have a dangerous job, and they should be able to have those tinted windows so that people can't see in there, because that's a safety thing for them. And it's a safety thing for them when they come up on a vehicle to have all those dark tinted windows. You don't know what that person has. Does he have a gun in the hand? Is he going to shoot him? I mean, so yeah, that's their justification of laws for thee, but not for me, right? I think we all can agree on that. A lot of the general public think that police should get special treatment because there are heroes. Yes, they're sovereign. Cops are sovereign. Officer safety. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think we got that. We beat that horse.
It's either pre-workout or 31 speed.
Yeah, that's not. They're complete seal blood shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either
Hang on a minute, Cliff.
meth.
Are they
What's
like,
that?
back it up a little bit? Because I want to point out the obvious. Keep going a little bit further back. Right. Okay. Go ahead and play. But watch when the cop turn there, right there, right there.
Jim is taking.
Stop it. Nope. You had it. Back up just a little bit.
Did it go back far enough or no?
Yeah, actually, that's good. That's good. They're
What are
pulling
you
him
seeing?
over for window tint, right?
Yeah.
How dark is the police's window tint? When
Yeah,
he
that's
turns
that's the point I was making. Is their windows are really dark. They're tint.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was pointing out the obvious.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, searching that he's on 31. It's either pre-workout or 31 speed.
Yeah, that's not.
Another thing that I see here that I don't think the other two channels even spotted. Why is this guy already wearing gloves?
I
you put on
wasn't gonna
gloves when you're
ask that.
you're getting ready to go hands on with somebody. So they're fully. I mean, this guy's fully expecting to be able to go hands on with 203. And over what? Well, they're going to fish and find something, right? That's what they do. They're milking it for all they can get. Pensions are huge, and most apply for disability from the branch they served or just in general, pension plus Social Security disability at 50-ish years old. Yeah. Yeah, some of them do. Some of them take full advantage of the government. I don't disagree with taking full advantage of them. They steal enough of our money. I don't think we should do it fraudulently. I mean, it needs to be real.
They're complete seal blood shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either coke or meth. Can I check his window tint? Window tint.
Multiple times for the windshield.
Yeah, I gotta see the drug here.
We buy any car. We buy
Buy any car.
We buy
Buy any car. We buy any. We buy any car. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I still haven't done it. I don't know what's stopping me from getting that. It's only what'd you guys say it was? $20 a month where you don't need to even see commercials, or what is that?
I don't remember. I haven't even looked into it because, yeah, I've had other things going on.
No, the channel owners get paid for 5 seconds worth of commercials, so we can support that way a little bit. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Plus, I don't like to spend money. I think they're going to get consent to search. Yeah.
I asked him if he took any supplements. He said no.
Searching it. It's either pre-workout or 31 speed.
Yeah, because that's not because I've seen pre-workout. His eyes are not pre-workout. They're pinpointing. You see the bloodshot, like the vessels.
Yeah,
Okay, come on, guys. When he was sitting in the car, looking up and talking to the cop, did you guys see the whites of his eyes? Were they bloodshot at all? Put in the one in the chat if you actually saw that shot where it's pretty clear he's looking up at the cop, and if you can tell, did his eyes look bloodshot to anybody? Put a 2 in the chat if you believe that he was not, that he did not have bloodshot eyes and you could see that clearly. Put a 3 if you have no idea. You really couldn't get a good look.
I could tell that he looks tired. He has the black circles under his eyes, so his eyes may be bloodshot from that. If
But
they're
did you see his
bloodshot.
eyes were bloodshot though? Did you clearly see
We
red?
really couldn't see because of the angle.
Okay. As I thought it was pretty clear that his eyes were really white, around the cornea. But, all right, let's continue.
Right, Dale. His eyes looked normal for him, and
For him,
that's
yeah.
yeah, for him, his eyes
He
looked
does look
normal.
tired all the time. He does look like he's got bags under his eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that's just I don't know. He probably doesn't get a lot of sleep. He's working out and then does his videos, and I mean, a lot of these auditors they don't spend a lot of time sleeping.
Has resting stone face.
He does. He does. That's just the way he looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on coke. He's on coke. We're on that.
Oh, but he's on coke. He's on coke. He's definitely on coke. I know. Let's see if he gets charged with it.
Huh? Yeah. Well, I stopped him. I stopped with the windshield. So you've been stopped multiple times.
Yes, sir.
Multiple times for the windshield check.
Yeah, I got to see the judge. Here's my.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me when you have like 7 citations for it.
Yeah, I know. I got to see the judge that's coming up here on the freaking. I think it's like the 14th.
Okay.
So he's probably gonna make me take it all off or whatever.
Yeah, if you
Otherwise, he's gonna suspend my license. So
1%. Okay, here's the deal, bud. Are you under the influence of anything?
No, sir.
Not at all.
Nope.
Haven't taken anything?
No.
Okay.
Pre-workout.
Did you take any pre-workout?
No.
Okay. All right. So
All right. Can everybody see his eyes more clearly in here? Trying to get an assessment. If anybody thinks he's got bloodshot eyes, somebody say he's got bloodshot eyes.
His right one looks a little glassier than the left. I mean, there is a
That could be the glare.
difference. It could be. And that's why I said he looks like he normally does.
Yeah, he does. Okay.
what I'm gonna have you do is just charge the vehicle for me and step out. Okay. Right now, I have reason to believe that you may be under the influence. I want to run you through some field sobriety exercises to determine that. Okay.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
So, I mean, everybody in the auditing community, supporters, auditors, I would say 90% maybe know that field sobriety tests are basically just they're designed for you to fail if the cops want you to fail. Does everybody agree that every auditor out there knows that you don't have to take a field sobriety test? It's never mandated, no matter what state you're in? Or is there a state where they mandate it? Does anybody know if there's any state that mandates a field sobriety test where you have to take it?
I'm going to look it up.
Okay. Good to see you, Rogue Nation. Utah Cop Watch. And Nikki, did you pin the open panel link yet? Because we're getting ready to bring people up if they want to come up. Good to see you, Utah Cop Watch. Full Court Press. Good to see you. Stephanie Jenks, of course.
Hey,
One of
I was doing it again. I was carrying on a conversation while I was muted.
Aha.
Yes, I pinned the link at the beginning of the thing, so it is pinned to answer
good.
that question.
And we'll be allowing people up on the panel here in just a little bit too. We just want to finish this part up.
Now, in the United States, field sobriety tests are voluntary in all jurisdictions. However, each state has different rules about these tests, and drivers can face consequences depending on their decision. For example, in Illinois, drivers are not legally required to take a field sobriety test, but they have given implied consent to testing by getting behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. If a driver refuses a field sobriety test and is found guilty of DUI charges, of course, they may face stiffer penalties than if they had taken the test. So,
In other
I
words,
guess-
if you don't do it and you're found guilty of DUI, then we're really going to pound you.
right.
So you better just
Right.
do it. It's like it coercing. It's coercing them to do it. So if you are under the influence, better go ahead and take this test if you're in Illinois. So if you do get found, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not giving legal advice either.
No.
I don't think under any circumstances will I take a field sobriety test. So apparently, though, Long Island Audit talked to Tuapre, and Tuapre was under the understanding in the state of Florida, you have to take it. It's mandatory. So he was confused on that. So I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of these auditors out there kind of live in their own bubble, and they're not real sure of everything because they're not seeing the things happening all with other auditors all over the country. And we do that, right? We supporters, we subscribers, we look at a lot of channels and decide whether or not we're going to support that channel, right? And so there's certain things that we all have in our own minds as to what our screening process is per se, as to whether or not we're going to support a certain channel in what they're doing, right? And I'm not the only one. And I usually don't give my opinion on what I'm looking for, but I'm starting to. I'm starting to realize that I'm looking to support channels that are really, really trying to affect change. It's not that I won't support a channel that's not trying to affect change, because I think all of our auditors have a certain there's certain things that we want them to do as far as education. And I just think that Tuapre is one of those education channels that does his thing in a funny way. But if he is going to be educating people on their rights, I think he needs to know them all too. I think he needs a little more education on what should be done in a certain situation and should not be done. So nothing negative to say about Tuapre, though. I like him. I think he's funny. He's just, I don't think he knows as much as some other auditors do. And he's only been what, maybe a year, I guess, or maybe a little longer that he's been on the scene. And he's never claimed to be a 1A auditor either. So here we go.
All right, when you step out, I'm going to pat you down really quick. Okay.
All right, so can I wear my hat?
Yeah, just keep the hat off for me. Okay.
All right.
For now,
Just
you wear
face it off for me. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Take your hands, put them on top of your head.
All right, so,
For now, you
Just
can wear
face
it
it off for me. Okay.
oh, yeah.
Take your hands, put them on top of your head.
All right, sounds good.
All right, now we're going to step over here. Okay.
This isn't moonshine, is it?
No, sir, that's water. You can test it if you want.
Yeah, can I check the car?
Yeah, oh, well, no, I don't consent to any searches and seizures, but that's water.
Well, I gotta check it to see if it's water.
You want me to get it out?
You want me to go consent to any searches or seizures right now?
No,
Good point there, Phyllis. And I think there are probably a lot of them out there too, where if you don't submit to a field sobriety test, they do take you to jail and make you do the breathalyzer or the blood draw or both. But
And they do the mandatory suspension until the court finds you not guilty.
wow, yeah,
not
some states are
only-
going to be more harsh than others.
You know, not only do you refuse the field sobriety test, when you do that, you automatically get your license suspended until you go to court, not just until you blow a 0.0 on the breathalyzer, or
Wow.
not for the just for the 6 weeks that it takes for the blood draw to come back. It's until you
Or
go to
longer.
court.
It could
Right.
take months for that blood draw to come back. I mean, we know from Matthew Reardon's case. It's like, and then to find out, hey, there's nothing, and this is happening all over the country too. People are being arrested for DUI and driving under the influence all over this country, only to find out that they were completely sober. And it all stemmed from field sobriety tests. So, I mean, you've got to be young to appraise young, and you got to be agile and athletic, and do their test just perfectly, and that includes following their directions perfectly too. I have attention deficit disorder. There's no way I could do the test according to their instructions by what they're saying, because I'd forget half of what the instructions were. So, and I know that there's a lot of people in my situation as well, and an age thing. I don't have any balance anymore. Are you kidding me? So, here we go.
No, I understand where you're coming from. It's water, so I got you. That's okay. No, I understand where you're coming from. It's water, so I got you.
All right, right there's good. Right there's good.
All right.
All right. So again, we have not utilized anything, right?
I'm sorry?
We have not utilized any types of narcotics, drugs, alcohol, anything like that.
No, sir.
No, not at all.
No, sir.
Not at all.
How many times you got to ask him, dude? I mean, that is so freaking irritating. He's probably asked him a dozen times if he was on drugs or alcohol. It's almost like he's truly fishing. Oh yeah, let me change my answer. Yes, I'm doing lots of lines of cocaine today. Come on. What is he doing there, guys? Can somebody help me out with what do you think this cop is trying to do here? I mean, of course he's trying to get him to what do you call it? Talk. He's trying to get him to talk, basically. More talking you do, the more they can use it against you. And he keeps answering their questions. No. All right.
Not at all. I haven't.
Okay.
This is another thing I don't understand too. Why is this guy's body cam being muted at specific times here? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Or was it muted but when they did the Freedom of Information Act and the actual police department redacted it by muting it?
Well, why though? What was? I mean, it doesn't sound like he was asking for his personal identifiable information. And besides that, people in the 1A community that get hemmed up, they go ahead but they don't redact anything. They want people to know who these guys are.
Right. But the audio muted by police, that could be when they did it, when they released it through a Freedom of Information Act.
Right, but why? Why did they mute this specific section of this body cam footage?
Well,
That's my question.
maybe they don't want to get out in the public all the questions that they ask so that the public knows how to answer.
Ah,
Could
yeah,
be.
that could be. Or there's something that they did that was wrong that they shouldn't have done as far as how they're questioning. Maybe a policy violation. Um, I don't know, but I would like to get the unmuted version. So if there's any auditors out there that are in that area of Florida, which I know a lot of auditors in Florida, maybe you can get the unredacted version where the police don't mute these parts of the conversation. There might be something in there that maybe we should hear. I don't know, just a thought.
Hey, I'm gonna take him over to the sidewalk over here. We're gonna do it over there. So let's walk over here, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Groveland, Florida, just in case an auditor wants to go over there and request the body cam footage that's completely unredacted.
Hey, can you stay 10-12 with them when we grab the stuff?
How many tickets you got for 10?
Yeah, I forgot, but so I have to see the judge. Like I was saying, I think it's like the 14th of August. So I mean,
You just got it. You just got one yesterday, right?
Okay, Rogue. All right, yeah, I know what you guys go through down there in Florida. It's like if you get what you get when they got it, and whatever they want to give you. But other than that, good luck, right?
yeah. So freaking, I gotta take all this stuff off. The judge is probably gonna make me take it all off. I don't know. Maybe you're familiar with the process, but I mean, obviously it can't continue because
And
you
this,
guys are
and this is just the guy you stopped yesterday. And
all on front is going to jail.
Right now, he's going through FSEs. Oh, okay.
Old guy Mitch, and it truly isn't just Florida either. It's every freaking state in the union. North Carolina, you can't even get body cam footage. It's not considered public record. You can't get it at all. Not at all. None. Change needs to come, right?
Let's because we've already been here for an hour
Okay.
and we're supposed to have an open panel. So
All right.
is there, you said
Yeah,
you had another?
Let me just kind of explain it, just in case people haven't seen the story or this video. He aces every frickin' field sobriety test that there is. He was 3 seconds off on counting to 30 seconds when they asked him to count to 30 seconds with his eyes closed and then open and say he was done. He did every physical perfectly, walking in the straight line, he held his foot up 6 inches for 30 seconds, counting to 30 until the cop told him he could stop. So he aced it. That's why they couldn't arrest him for DUI, but they did arrest him for the window tint. They arrested this man for window tint. Think about that, guys. And here's their window tint. Look at that. Look how dark that is. Look how dark that is. Okay. All right. So let's open up the panel. We do already have some people coming up. And if we can keep it on this subject, that's great. What's going to really affect change with our government? What kind of auditing is going to affect change? We already know Tuapre. I mean, it's not really going to affect a lot of change. His is comedy. His is more educational. He's not trying to affect change that we can see. But maybe he is, and he just hasn't said anything to anyone yet. maybe he's 1A, maybe he's not. He's never really told anybody that he is, right? And then Siberian Tiger, we know because of the body of his work, so which we showed earlier. All right, so we don't need to show any more videos. And who do we got down in the basement? Let's add him to the stage here. Phoenix, volunteer ADA Title II auditor. So what do you have to
Hi,
add to the
Aus-
conversation?
Hi, Aussie Nathan.
Greetings.
Yes, it is evening for us. It's good morning for you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, no, we're talking to Phoenix right here, the one in South Carolina.
Yeah, over here by Fort Jackson. If anybody's familiar with Fort Jackson.
Yeah, and Nikki was talking to Aussie Nathan, who just showed up in our chat. All right, yeah, it is morning there. Okay.
Yeah, Cliff, I sent you an email, man. Yesterday evening, me and my buddy was riding e-bikes together, and Columbia Police Department, apparently this female sergeant that we had a run-in with before that kicked us out of a public event because I was wearing a Guy Fawkes airsoft face mask on my e-bike to protect my face, and she said, "You can't wear a mask in South Carolina on a public road."
Didn't we just go through all of this for 3 years where everybody was required to wear a mask out in public?
Well, in South Carolina, I know. Not only that, but in South Carolina, if you ride a motorcycle, it's optional if you wear a helmet. So therefore, I use my First Amendment rights. I get a Guy Fawkes mask. I get a rescue helmet with Bluetooth communications built into the rescue helmet. And that's what I ride with. And it's a high visibility rescue helmet. So I stick out like a sore thumb. Everybody looks at me. People honk at me. They wave at me. They give me the thumbs up. They shoot me the peace sign. And, you know, everybody loves it. And I have so much fun with it, you know. And then this officer, during a public event, we go in to get us something to drink, and she kicks us out of the event. And it's a public event. Okay. Now, this is the second time I've caught the chief violating Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So now I got a $150,000 lawsuit against the city of Columbia right now. We just sent a demand letter. You pay me $150,000 because your officer violated 433340 of South Carolina Code of Laws, which is interfering with the rights of a physically disabled person. And that would be not allowing me to ride my e-bike on the public roadway or the sidewalk, for that matter. And yeah, we sent them a demand letter for $150,000. Please respond within 10 days. And then they retaliated against us last night. I got it on video, and there it is. Awesome.
Okay, can you send that video into the private chat? Because I want to ask you about this too. Do you know?
All right, do you want the retaliation video, or do you want the original video and then the retaliation video?
Go ahead and send both. We might not be able to cover both videos, but we'll maybe have you on as a guest again on a Sunday to go over the full extent of everything. But I do want to ask you this: 241 or 242? Do you know what I'm talking about?
241 or 242? Rules of civil procedure. Is that what
Nope. You're stuck on civil. I want you to get on to criminal.
Oh, well, 433340.
Hang on. Violation of rights under color of law is, I believe that's section 242.
Yeah, it's also section 1983.
Right. Okay.
42 USC section 1983.
1983, I believe, is civil, right? It's not criminal.
That's correct.
To effect change, here's where most of
433340 is criminal in South Carolina.
Okay, so but that's
3 years
state
in
level.
prison.
That's state level, right?
Yes, sir.
Felony is what we're looking for to charge these cops when they retaliate, especially violation of rights under color of law. That's the direction that we're leading. Of course, we want you to
That's what Rebecca
also
Robertson did to me. Yeah.
But we need to charge these cops with crimes And because
Right.
otherwise they're going to continue to violate your rights and everybody else's rights and the auditing world's rights.
Right.
So we're kind of changing the focus. Now, I don't know how we're going to get prosecutors to prosecute this stuff. So we've got to all try to
my
come together and
attorneys-
figure that out.
My attorneys are really looking forward to taking this into a state court of competent jurisdiction because ADA grants you that ability to do that and give state courts of competent jurisdiction the authority to enforce ADA Title II cases. But our state courts don't know that because they just changed ADA coordinators. I just found that out today. So now I'm getting her trained, and she's the ADA coordinator for sccourts.org. She is the ADA coordinator for the criminal justice system, our court system here in South Carolina, and she doesn't know how to do her job properly. And I found that out today, and I sent her all the information she needed to be trained and become an ADA coordinator. So
Okay.
that happened today. So
Now, let me ask, how is your auditing style going to affect change in the government for everyone?
okay, I'm getting compliance with Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. That means that people that are disabled that come behind me are going to know who the ADA coordinator is, and that ADA coordinator is going to know what their job is, and that ADA coordinator is going to treat them like they should be treated and grant them the proper reasonable accommodations that I am fighting for them to comply with. And that's what I'm doing. I'm forcing them, holding them accountable for compliance with Title II of the ADA. And if you don't comply with that, you're committing Section 504 fraud. And if I did that, I'd be explaining it to a federal court judge. So, you know.
For a crime, right?
That's right.
That's a crime that you can go to
Exactly.
jail for or prison.
That's fraud. Right.
Yes.
And 433340 is South Carolina state law interfering with a physically disabled person, denying them access to the public streets or sidewalks or accommodations. And that's what this sergeant did to me at a public event where we were trying to get lemonade to hydrate and then get on back to our ride. And that's where all the food trucks were at this public event. So where do you think we went? Where all the food trucks were. So, and she kicked us out as soon as we walked in, or kind of rode in actually on our e-bikes. But and she's targeting me because of my mask, because of my Guy Fawkes V for Vendetta mask. Yeah, okay. Well, that mask means a lot to me. I was born on November the 5th, y'all. Remember the 5th of November from the movie V for Vendetta, the gunpowder treason and plot. You know, that's why I wear that mask on my e-bike when I ride. And my e-bike, instead of having a number plate, has the same airsoft mask on the front of it. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, so I want to ask the chat because what we want, and most of the people in our chat are 1A supporters, activists. There's auditors in our chat right now, and I want to bring them in on this conversation because it looks like they're having a lot of side conversations, right? So, guys, how do we affect real change within our government? Do we need to, obviously, we want to continue to sue cities and counties, but do you agree that we should try to get these cops charged with violation of civil rights under color of law and get them thrown in prison? Don't you guys think that would affect change, or do you not agree with me? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me that that would affect change in a bigger way than just suing. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't agree and just want to sue our government into oblivion. 1 or 2. 1 if you agree that we should start looking for ways to get these cops criminally charged when they violate our rights under the color of law, or we should just sue them and get money from them. Which one is most effective in creating change within our government to make it stop. What's going to be most effective to make this stop where cops are retaliating against our 1A auditors because they don't like what we're doing and they just attack them. I mean, we showed 2 incidents of 2 1A auditors, Siberian Tiger and Tuapre, getting hemmed up because they are out there with cameras. I believe they were wrongfully arrested and a crime was committed in both cases. What do you guys believe? Neither are effective, Howard County Observer. Can you expand on that? I truly want to know. I mean, you don't think it'd be effective to get cops charged with crimes when they do what they do? Or suing them is not very effective either? In creating change within our government?
And qualified immunity. Educate the public until society says police misconduct is now unacceptable.
But and qualified immunity, how long have we been trying to educate the public? How many years have we been doing that?
But how
And
many
has that been
years?
effective? Has that been effective?
How many years has the government been educating the children on stay in line, keep, raise your hand if you want to talk, ask for permission? So how many years is it going to take to undo all of that teaching that those in authority, quote unquote, are the rule makers?
And I think that this is a good point right here from unqualified immunity. It's the spineless prosecutor's fault. I don't know that they're spineless. I just think that they're on the same side as the cops and don't want to prosecute any members of the government because they're all on the same team.
Patriot T, that is a good good idea. I mean, that would change a lot of things if those of us, us supporters, etc.
I'm ready to bring you up, Phoenix. Did you want it? There you
go. In those positions, the mayors, the sheriffs, city councils, getting people who are very involved as an activist or whatever.
Whoa, look at this. I don't know what's going on in our chat here, but that was quite a charge there. And really, if you're going to attack like that, I mean, might as well come up on the panel and have it out.
I put it in the chat for you. And it kicks me out every time I do that. So you only got the first one, which is her violating my rights under the color of law to public event.
Okay. What do you mean, knock it off, Cliff? What are you talking about? There, Rogue Nation will come up. There we go. What are they? What is this? What is going on here with this Bad Apples Media? I haven't. What have I missed?
We were just having a talk. Sorry, I'm in the car here. We were just having a talk about the right to travel, and every once in a while, people will find some new information on the internet, and all of a sudden, they're a legal guru, and they take it as being the truth. So, I'm trying to keep people from going to jail. There's this right to travel thing that keeps popping up in our community, and I'm just trying to teach people that everything you hear on the internet isn't. I am not. Some lady just pulled up and asked if I was Walter. No, that's not me. But
He
I'm
is,
just trying
yes,
to
he
keep
is.
people out of trouble.
didn't-
We've all seen the videos of these sovereign guys that are driving and they don't have a license and they won't get out of the car and the car window's smashed and they get pulled out and they get arrested. This has been going on for 40 years, you know, and every once in a while somebody will come across the information and all of a sudden they're going to be the guy that drives with no license and doesn't get his window smashed until a year later when we see them on video getting their window smashed and them going to jail. It's
Or they
happened
become
time.
unalived by 6 police officers in Farmington, Utah.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there, you know, what's funny is that there is a right to travel, but people mistake the man being regulated with the item being regulated. And, you know, it's a deep subject and it goes into title law and a whole bunch of other stuff. But, you know, the basic bottom line is no matter if you somehow can figure it out, because very few people, actually none that I know of have actually figured it out. But when you do figure it out, because it is true and it is there, but you're going to have the same issue that you had if you had not figured it out, which is that nobody else knows what the hell you're talking about, right? The cops don't even know the freaking ID law. And here you're handing them, you know, a inch thick pad of paper with case law. Like we call it the wall of, you know, the sovereign wall of law. And it's just case law after case law. Some of it's real, some of it's fake. Half these guys don't check. They just run with it, you know, because it already confirms what they believe. So they don't even go to bother to look at the case and see if the case says what it does. And then they, you know, they go out and they end up getting in trouble. And I think it's terrible that, because the people that are, you know, questioning this, that shows already that they're free thinkers, right? They're not accepting just the government's word for it. They're actually, you know, taking some time to do some research. But again, all of our research is for naught if we don't understand our mind and we don't understand confirmation bias and such like this, because otherwise all we're going to be doing is not researching. We're just going to be confirming our own beliefs, which means that we're going to ignore the stuff that goes against what we say and accept wholeheartedly whatever agrees with us, no matter if it's true or not. Right. So I just feel, I saw that in the side chat and I wanted to pop on real quick. I got to pick up my daughter in a couple of minutes, but, you know, I wanted to let people know that, you know, even if you do find that unicorn, which, you know, again, it's not the man that's being regulated, but the item. But if you do happen to come across that, it's still not going to do you a damn lick of good. You're still going to spend your life in jail, getting your car out of impound and going to court, because none of the cops know about the right to travel. None of the judges would know.
Yep.
Right. Most people have no clue about it because they haven't spent the time to do any of the research. And again, it's like the tax protesters, right? They read the Title 26 code, the tax law, and they come out and they say, well, you know, there's no law in Title 26 that makes me liable for income tax. Well, okay, great. But if you look in the Social Security Act, the first Social Security Act, Section 801, other income, it states that you're liable for income tax, right? So when you focus on one thing and you're so driven, you know, oh, in the tax code, it doesn't say I have to pay income tax. Well, it does in other parts of the law. Your ass was just so focused on the tax law that you didn't bother to read anything else. And that's why for 30 years, everybody that's went up against the IRS has lost, because they use that same tired ass argument. Well, there's no law in there. No shit. You know,
so
and that's
I think
what the last 50 guys said.
Yeah. So what I think you're saying is some of these guys, and Bad Apple, we're going to give you a chance to talk here and give your side of this. But a lot of people find these obscure things in the Constitution and in previous law or federal law. And I'm not really adept at law. So, and I know that you do a lot of research. So what you're saying is you might be right in what you're saying, but if you give that advice to people out there, you're just going to get them in a lot of trouble. And I think you're probably right on that. Pat Apple, welcome to the show. Go ahead and give your side of things, and we'll let you have your say on it.
It's not really a side of things, you know. That's not the point. The point is that I've been trying to bring this stuff up. I don't know what the impression is that Rogue Nation has from all the 50,000 videos that he's seen. Can you guys hear me good or not?
No, go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. Well, I don't know what 50,000 videos that, you know, I've seen them too. When I see them, it pisses me off because these guys are a bunch of idiots and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're saying, and they don't know that there's an actual process to become what you call living in the private. And so,
okay. Can you specify who they is? Specify who they is for me, please.
Excuse me?
Specify who they is. I don't know if you're talking about the auditors are stupid or these government officials are stupid.
The people that are out here telling cops when they get pulled over in the videos that you see, the 50,000 videos that are out here of these guys that are out here telling I don't need a license. Well, most of these guys learn that they or get the information that they don't need a license from Brian, that here's the deal, who tell people about the Supreme Court ruling, but he'll deny saying, oh, I don't tell anybody that. Well, no, he doesn't specifically tell anybody that you don't need a driver's license. But when you come on here and you got a 500, 600, 700,000 person platform and you're telling a bunch of nitwits who are seeing it on the internet, so it's got to be true that you don't need a driver's license, but you don't need a driver's license. But like Rogue Nation said, you don't just say, I'm not going to renew my license and drive around and take my plate off. That's not how it works.
Right.
It's an actual process.
So basically, you and Rogue were basically agreeing with each other, just
no, to a certain extent. But Rogue likes to. I don't know where he went, but Rogue likes to.
Oh, he's still here.
Passive aggressive shit, which it's annoying because he'll say certain things in chat, but then he comes on here and starts off with, most people on here to talk about it don't know what they see a video. So he's accusing me of just watching a video and making comments on the side over here. That's what he essentially said. I posted all kinds of comments in here, but Cliff, you didn't share one of them comments until I said something to Rogue Nation. Then you shared that one.
Well, you're right.
I've seen this before, but that's okay. I'm not mad at you.
No, and I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't paying any attention until I saw that. It was like, whoa,
I'm not mad. I just pointed out. I see things. I'm very observant.
Just so you know, I did not do that out of malice.
I'm just saying I'm very observant. I'm not mad at you. I just point stuff out, and that's what people don't like.
You don't have.
You sound a little paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a right.
Who said that?
I did. The guy next to you.
Do you understand what the term paranoid means? Come on now. Paranoid.
Do you know how
many? I'm talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, can Rogue Nation come back on here? Because I was actually having
excuse me for talking while you interrupt.
Rogue Nation, not MS.
You asked me a question, moron.
I don't even know who you are, dude. I wasn't
in the yelling back at you.
This is why I don't want to bother talking to you guys.
Okay,
this is why I don't want to bother talking to you guys.
All I wanted to say is, Cliff.
I don't care what you have to say. I was talking to Rogue Nation.
No, you weren't. You were talking to Cliff. You had said to Cliff, why did he only highlight? Why did he only highlight you? Cliff has not highlighted 90% of the stuff, and it's all about you.
Stop. I'm talking right now. So everybody shut the fuck up while I'm talking. I think what and you were saying that I wasn't showing any of your things. So I didn't even recognize.
Who cares? Let's move past that, okay?
No, I'm not going to move past it. I don't want to move past it.
I was just making a point.
Okay, well, you made
your all I did was make a point.
By showing all of your stuff on here. I see plenty of counters. You guys won't share them.
Well, that's all good. Now you want to share them. Like, thanks. Appreciate that. Cliff.
Yeah, I do, because I did miss them. And I'm proving to you right now that I did miss them.
Listen to me for 1 second. I'm not surprised that you did it. I was just making the point because this happens on every First Amendment supporting channel that's on YouTube. If I come in there and I start saying what I say, you guys never can. Most of the people in here, they don't say nothing. Some people do. Some people, oh, they with their insults, but none of the channels ever talk about it because the channels, all of them, big channels especially, they do not want to talk about state national status. They refuse to talk about it. They disparage it, they put it down, and they insult it. Just like the rest of the guys that are, I don't know, but it's not
including our government.
It's completely legitimate to change your status and to become sovereign. Not a sovereign citizen.
Let me let's have a conversation. Don't.
With who? Where
Yeah,
did
don't.
Whoa, whoa. Hey,
You don't need to filibuster.
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna talk now.
You know what?
Number one.
I contacted
Nikki's
you guys
talking.
about the
Shut the
Red
fuck
Nation.
up.
No, where's Rogue?
Take him out. Take him out. You're out of here. You're out of here. You're out of here. You're gone. I was trying to have a conversation with you, but you don't want to have a conversation, dude. You want to filibuster and make all your points without having a conversation. Goodbye.
Number one, I'm the one who highlights the comment. Damn, Cliff. I'm the one who highlights the comments, so I do miss quite a few of them. I apologize for that. Cliff does not normally pay attention to the chat. Cliff just happened to look down and see that, and he did not know what was going on. That's why he highlighted it. And I apologize for that. Now, I will bring you back up as long as you will have a conversation.
Off. None of these. I've been trying to communicate with these guys for a long time. I don't. You know what? I'm at the point where there's no purpose even having this conversation with anybody anymore because it goes nowhere. It never goes anywhere. This is
Hang on. Have you ever come to my channel and come up on my panel? And have I? Get the fuck out. You don't want to have a conversation. You want to blow the egg
You
and give
want to
your
sit here and
opinion
fucking
on anything.
grandstand your big old channel? Big old boy.
Fuck you. Kick him out of here. Ban that motherfucker. Can't follow my rules? You're gone. Never to return. All right. No, I mean, how do we get him completely out of here? He needs to be gone. Nikki. Do you know how? There
You
we
have
go.
to do it. You have to do it while he's there. You hit
Done. It's done.
Nikki got it done. Whew, man, oh man! I wanted to have a conversation with the guy, but all he wanted to do was bloviate and filibuster and just, I mean, wow. I mean, he says he's trying to, come up on panels and speak his piece, but he's not going to let anybody else talk while he's speaking his piece. He's not going to let anybody try to even agree with him. I was basically going to try to agree with him, but he wouldn't even allow me to do it. What the hell?
Can I just say can I say he's going to go on from here now and say you're persecuting them too.
Yeah, well, he can say whatever the hell he wants to say. I can take it. Wow, I mean, that was crazy, Muckster. I've never dealt with anybody like that coming up on my panel.
Hey,
It's
you were looking like me there, Cliff. Watch out.
Oh, I know. It's the first time I've said get out and don't come back. Oh man. I just wow, that's crazy.
Can I wanted to ask something of Phoenix. That is still him up there with the nipple, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
On your thing with your case of being discriminated against, would it be discrimination if they kicked somebody else out for having a mask?
It wouldn't be discrimination necessarily unless they target them for the mask itself. And if the mask itself provides some form of protection, then you're allowed to wear it if you're doing something.
What does your Guy Fawkes mask have to do with your disability?
Okay. Are you familiar with airsoft and paintball?
Yeah.
Okay. It protects my face from bug strikes and bushes and branches when I'm riding in the woods and all that. See, in South Carolina, helmet is not mandatory. If you're over 21, you don't have to wear a helmet. So I can wear whatever I choose to wear.
Did you?
So I
did you?
choose to wear a safety helmet that's bright green, that's
Yeah.
that is designed for rescue workers, that has Bluetooth communications built into it. I use that helmet with the Guy Fawkes Airsoft paintball face mask, which protects my face from BBs coming at 650 feet per second at my face.
That all makes sense. That's very smart. Did you wear the mask into the event?
I do.
Okay, well,
In fact, when you see the video, you'll see my mask. If Cliff can ever get to the video, and we can get idiots like that off the channel that want to talk over everybody and try to take over the channel, yeah, maybe we can watch the video. You'll see what I wear, how it looks, and everything else.
But I'm wondering what it was protecting you from in the event. She kicked you out for wearing the mask inside. Wearing that mask in there has nothing to do with your disability.
Right, I was riding an electric bike, which is what I use to get around in
But
my soul
but did they tell you couldn't wear the mask while riding?
That's correct.
I thought you said she kicked you out for having the mask in the event.
She kicked me out. She said, "Sir, that's against city ordinance. You can't wear that mask here in the city of Columbia. It's against the city ordinance. Take it off right now." Okay, that's what she was doing. So
Okay, well,
I'm like,
can I tell you my problem?
Sure.
It sounds like she would have said the same thing to any of the rest of us. So it sounds like you're misusing the American with Disabilities Act.
no, absolutely not. I took my fist and pounded my fist into the face mask while it was on my face. And I said, "This is face protection." She goes, "It's a mask. Take it off." I said, "No, this is for my face protection." I asked her if she wanted to explain it to a judge, because 16.7.130 says if I am participating in an event where it is typical that somebody wears a helmet, like riding an electric bike, then I can wear any kind of helmet I want, because South Carolina does not have a mandatory helmet law.
I don't think you get my point.
Okay.
So is this, let me ask, is the mask part of your helmet?
Yes, it fits right into it perfectly. That's what it's designed for. It's airsoft helmet.
But it detaches.
Yes.
But see, here's my point is, she didn't do it because of your disability. You're saying she's discriminating. I'm saying she would have done it to any perfectly healthy 20-year-old or whatever. So I don't see where it's a disability thing.
If we ever watch the video, and if we can ever get to the point where we pull in, and almost, I don't know, 30 seconds after we pull in, there she is. Take off that mask. Get out of here. You can't be over here with that mask on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
if we could ever watch the video, you'd answer, and you'd have a whole bunch of answers.
Hang on. So yeah, let's get to the video. But I think Buckster's asking an honest question. And so if we show the video, maybe that'll give him some answers. But Buckster, do you remember 3 years it was mandatory you had to wear a mask? Why are they bitching about masks?
I know, and
there.
If they're complaining about him wearing a mask while riding, I could certainly see fighting that. I worry about misusing the ADA in the same way. If he was black and said they were discriminating because he was black, I think there may be a problem with this ordinance, but it's got nothing to do with his disability.
All right.
It's
Well, let's
not
get
an
to
ordinance,
the
it's state law.
You just said she said city ordinance.
Yeah, that's what she said. If we watch the video, you can listen to her say that.
Okay, let's do that. Let's just watch the video here. I'm going to get it up. Let me pull it up here. All right. Maybe this will give us some clarity when we present it.
We lost. Oh, wonder if he tried to get the other video and knocked himself off again.
No,
He
I
might
don't
have.
think- well, but let's do. I mean, I think it's a cool looking mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's 23 minutes long. Hopefully, he finds his way back up here so he can kind of guide us as to the point that he's trying to make in a particular part of the video. But let's play it and see what we can see.
By the way, I also agree totally with Rogue Nation, but that's another thing.
You know what,
So do I.
Muckster? I think a lot of people agree with Rogue Nation, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're not in your own little world in that standing.
I think that guy that we had on here just wanted to argue, just for argument's sake. I don't really understand it. I was trying to have a conversation. I was actually agreeing with some of his points. It was like, but I didn't get a chance to say it.
Well, I will tell you, Cliff, I just kicked him from the studio. I did not ban him from the channel
Okay.
or the chat.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah, I don't think I
he'll
want to
take
back
a
up on
breath
our
and
panel.
think about it.
Our panels are for a little more easy discourse.
Reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, reasonable.
And I'm sorry I started yelling at him, by the way. You know, I hate when people get like that. But anyway. Phoenix is back. Phoenix is back, so
Yeah.
he can guide you here.
And you know
Phoenix,
what?
can you
I
guide
just-
us
I-
to where we need to be
Hey.
in the video so we can share the points that you really want to make here? Because we don't want to watch the whole thing. We don't have 23 minutes to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm back.
because I
I
didn't buy
mean,
my
in the
whistle
first
either.
30 seconds, she comes at us.
Okay. And this, okay. All right. Let's do it then. So number one, this is an outside event, outdoors. Is that right? Phoenix? All right.
We're pulling up to the lemonade stand to the right. There she is.
Okay, so I'm not hearing what she's saying.
She's talking to him at first, and then she's going to come right to me, and first thing out of her mouth, take off that man.
Okay, here we go.
It's a city policy violation. You have to take the mask off.
It's not a mask.
Now, that's a helmet. That you have it something to. It's still a mask. It's not part of the mask until you have it. Again, you can wear a helmet, but you cannot wear a mask.
Okay.
Okay. What is happening with our country? We're outdoors.
She's mistaken. There's no city ordinance.
Let me finish my point here. Let me finish my point here.
Yes,
I don't care about law. I don't care about any of this stuff. You are outside.
Yes, sir.
And we have a right to, since there is no privacy in public, we have a right to protect our privacy in public. And if wearing a mask is something that we should have a right to do, I think we should have a right to do that. Why are people wanting to infringe on other people like this? You can't wear a mask. It's a city ordinance. You can't do this. You can't walk across the street. You can't do that. It's bullshit. And it makes
Someone
no
is
sense.
echoing, and it's not me.
Well, it could be Phoenix. Unless there's somebody else. Everybody, Muckster wasn't doing it. Rogue wasn't doing it before. And I think Phoenix has been having some connection issues, so I'm not sure. But Muxter, will you chime in on what I just said? I mean, what is this country coming to? Where we can't-
I totally agree with you on that. I think you should be able to wear what you want. I mean, it's been proven many times that you could wear a mask that says "Go F yourself," and that's freedom of speech. You know, it's freedom of expression to wear the mask. My only point here, I'm coming back to, is I don't see how you fight that as being discrimination against a disability. You fight it on the fact that you should be allowed to wear what you want in public. And, you know, the mask is protection. You could still say, hey, it protects me from bugs on the road. It protects me from people breathing on me when I'm walking down the street, but it's got nothing
What if
to
he
do
had a seizure and fell flat on his face? The mask is protecting him. I mean,
but I just don't feel she discriminated against him because of his disability.
and I think that's a fair point. I don't know. Phoenix is part of the situation, so he would know better than I. Is there a point in this video where there's proof that she's violating your rights because of discrimination against your disability?
We're trying to explain to her that we're not getting off our bikes and we're not going to leave until we get something to hydrate with and drink. And then we will leave. That's what we're trying to explain to her that we're there for. And she's trying to tell us that we can't be in there and all this. And she just starts, my buddy in front of me, she starts pecking at his heels and trying to shoo him out of there while he has his lemonade in hand. And he keeps his promise. She makes me, because I had a cup holder on my belt, and she makes me exit out of this area right here, which I do a U-turn, and you can see her chasing him around, pecking at his heels. Come on, let's go, move, time to go, time to go, time to go, let's go, let's go, time to go.
And he wasn't wearing a mask? He wasn't wearing a mask?
And no, he was not. And we both get kicked out of the event by her. And I told her, look, I'm disabled. I wear this mask. I have consent from Gardner Johnson, your now retired ADA Title II coordinator. And I'm educating Gwendolyn Connors, your current replacement ADA coordinator, because I busted you for violating the settlement agreement with the United States Department of Justice in 2016 that the chief signed now for the second time. The first time they named Gardner Johnson as the ADA coordinator.
Hang on then. I got a question. So she knows who you are then, and this is retaliation from what you got done before?
We're trying to explain to her that I have permission from the ADA coordinator to ride my electric bike anywhere where bicycles are allowed to be.
Okay. So why do you think she is being such a pissant about making you leave because you're wearing a mask? Why do you think that is? What is the discrimination factor on this?
She doesn't like what the mask stands for.
Did she say that? I mean, do we know that?
Well, she takes a picture of me and then sends it to her Thin Blue Line gang members. And then yesterday, her Thin Blue Line gang members stopped us. And the first thing out of the sergeant's mouth that approached us first, that initiated the stop on us, was, take off that mask. You can't wear that in this city.
Wow.
And that was last night. That was last night, my friend.
Okay.
And this is her violating my rights under 433340. I told her, look, I have Gardner Johnson permission. I told a sergeant that's also there who's in internal affairs, she's wearing bottle cap glasses, and you can see her on the left. As soon as we entered, she nodded at us, acknowledging us going through there into the event. And then this woman shows up and she's immediately trying to kick us out.
Could she know the litigation that you've had in the past about all of this kind of stuff?
My physical trainer, who is the guy that I'm following, that I pay to ride with me, because I have lifting restrictions because I disability retired from EMS. Okay, I have lifting restrictions. I can't get a 250-pound motorcycle, but I can handle an electric bike that's my own weight, 140 pounds. So, you know, I'm okay there, but I can't handle a 250-pound bike. I can't do it. My lifting restrictions. So,
Howard County Observer has a good question here. Get some information on the city ordinance for no mask. What city is the question here?
oh, the city of Columbia, South Carolina, the capital city of South Carolina, Columbia.
They have a city ordinance and no mask out in public.
No, they do not. It's state law that she is misinterpreting. It's not illegal for the police to lie to us, but it is illegal for us to lie to the police. But
so there is no
doesn't know her
city
stuff. No, there is no city ordinance on masks. It's a state law.
Okay, and then she takes a picture of you, sends it to all of her blue line buddies, and then they say.
And then last night they come after us. Yes, and they come after us heavy with 5 officers.
All right. Okay. Let's table this for now, Phoenix. I do want to have you on the show on a Sunday, and let's go over both these videos in their entirety. That's I think that's interesting. I think that's I think it could be very egregious what they're doing to you, and I think
it gets more interesting because at the
I know
other
that
end
you
of this
focus
event,
on. I know that you focus on suing these cities and suing over this stuff. I want to focus on, and if you'll work with me on this, I would like you guys to file criminal charges on these cops for violation of rights under color of law. They're using their authority to violate your civil rights. And that's what we want to change. Am I right? That's what we want to change, guys.
That's correct.
Everybody in the chat, that's what we want to change, is violating rights under color of law or civil rights, right? Do we want, can everybody agree that we want that?
Yes.
That's change. Yeah. So Muckster on the panel says so. Anyone else? Come on, let's hear it. I mean, do you guys really want to affect change, or not affect change? You don't really care. You just like the content. You like all the drama. Tell me, if you guys just like the drama, then I'll get off this. But man, I really do want to affect change in this country when it comes to violating our civil rights under color of law. All right, so we got a yes from Dale Elliott. We got a yes from Bob Niehoff. Yeah, Agent Smith. Yeah, drama does sell, but true change is a little bit more boring. But that's need to affect change. Patriot T, thank you.
Can I give a spoiler real quick?
Sure.
She has a male sergeant at the opposite end of this event approach me and educate me on 16.7.110, but he didn't educate me on 16.7.130, which I already knew. But so he comes over and educates me on it. And he's got an airsoft skeleton mask attached to the headrest of his patrol car.
Okay, Phoenix. So you just said some law, but you didn't tell us what those laws were. A lot of people don't understand that. Like I said, let's table this for now, and let's have you on a panel on a Sunday and go through everything in its entirety, so we can be a little bit more explicit and direct with everything that we were trying to do. But yes, I definitely want to expose this.
Sure.
Rogue Nation, what do you think? Should we start trying to get criminal charges on these officers that are violating our civil rights under color of law? Or should we just leave that part alone because there's going to be even more retaliation? And if so, if you do agree that we should try to get that kind of change, how do you propose we go about it? Because these prosecutors are not cooperating on that end. What do you think, Rogue? Is Rogue on mute, or did we lose Rogue and we just don't know it? Or
he unmuted, but I'm not hearing anything.
I'm not hearing anything either.
Yeah, neither am I. And no, he's
okay. He's gonna. Who jumped?
Can you hear me now?
I just lost Nikki. She must have lost her. I can hear you now. Go ahead, Rogue.
Okay, you can hear me now. Good. Yeah, I had it on Bluetooth listening because I'm driving, but yeah, definitely we want to affect change. If we can prosecute, then definitely. Unfortunately, as most of you know, the prosecutors hardly ever do it. So,
And how do we fix that? Do you have any ideas on how we can get these prosecutors to prosecute against government entities when it's needed?
yeah, it's almost impossible to get that done.
Okay, so we want to say almost impossible, so it is possible. I don't like it. I don't like impossible
Can I?
because I don't think anything's impossible. Go ahead, Muxter, if you got something to say.
Okay.
I'm chiming in.
Well, I think it's really a systemic problem because we lost the road totally there. They are not separate entities. They're supposed to be, but they're not separate entities. The prosecution and the police, they work together. And obviously, even if a prosecutor thinks a cop is wrong about something, he does not want to alienate the police department. I mean, to really fix everything, you'd have to go bottom up and just change the whole way we do things. And, that's not going to happen. But I think a start would be getting...
I think that's a good point you're making. Maybe it could happen. Maybe we could get some legislation where it could happen. You never know. No, I don't think anything is impossible. And we already know that we've done a lot of things as Americans that a lot of people thought were impossible, but we achieved it anyway, right? I don't want to hear impossible. I want to be more optimistic. But I understand it's going to be hard, man. This is hard work, right?
Well, the perfect symbol of it is the TV show Law and Order, right? I haven't watched it in a long time, but remember it always started with you got the cops who investigate and prosecution that prosecutes or however that went. But basically they're saying it's two sides of the same thing, and the only way you'll fix it is to separate them somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, the prosecutors won't prosecute on a lot of crimes. That's why I think the video camera is so important, because when we catch egregious acts on video, it's hard for them to deny. And yet, as you know, they still deny it. So I think capturing it in a form that can be disseminated to the public to where they could see it is our best effort. Our best chance at getting some kind of punishment for wrongdoers, whatever that amounts to, whether it's them getting fired or them going to prison or what have you not. Because if that camera's not there, then the narrative is pretty much whatever they spin it to be.
Yep.
So, I mean, if the camera wasn't there for George Floyd, you can guarantee that, what happened was he was resisting arrest and, he was throwing punches and they had to, you know what I mean? You know the deal. They feared for their life and, all sorts of shit. That's what we get now from, people like Grady Judd, who doesn't have body cameras down there in Polk County. I mean, they tell stories that are complete fabrications and they get away with it because there's no evidence to the contrary, Because
nobody had a camera.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm working on 2 cases right now down in Polk County where the deputies lied about, certain aspects of the incident. One was where they shot a guy, and another one was where a young man was hit walking along the side of the road, and the deputies labeled it as a suicide when it was actually an accident. And because it was labeled a suicide, his mother wasn't able to collect some $250,000 from the life insurance because, supposedly it was a suicide, not an accident. So, these guys and their mistakes and their lies have real world consequences for a lot of us,
And yet they've got that qualified immunity.
Absolutely. Which, again, they shouldn't have because, part of the statute was left out when they codified that in 1871. So the police officers traditionally didn't have qualified immunity. And, you know, again, it was something they just made up off of a half statute. You know, it wasn't even the whole statute that they used. So
Yeah.
they are definitely getting challenged.
Yeah. This guy in qualified immunity wants to argue with you. Can you read that?
Me?
Yeah.
He's in his car. You should read it to him.
Right.
I'll
It
read it
says,
to you, Rogue. Rogue,
Yeah.
in qualified immunity says, Rogue, you're wrong. Laugh out loud. They prosecute us every time for no crime and no reason. So I was joking there.
That's a definite truth to it. But as we all know, you know, none of us are, as John Fogerty would say, a senator's son. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Wanda Maya says immunity. That's right. My arresting officer committed 5 felonies on his GF. I'm not sure what that means.
Girlfriend.
A girlfriend, and got unreported probation. Guard attacked me. They did. Oh,
0.
they did 0. Okay.
Immunity.
I verbally defend myself while being attacked. I get prosecuted because you verbally defended yourself. Yeah. No. And hence the reason why Wanda Mize cusses them out every time he sees them before they say anything. Seven Cities, go after the insurance companies because it is civil rights related. Yes, Seven Cities. But we're also trying to go after more than just civil stuff, right? To affect real change, we believe, and I think I'm getting agreement from a lot of people in the chat as well. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that we should start demanding criminal charges every time an officer violates somebody's civil rights under color of law. That we need to hound the prosecutors and demand that they charge them criminally every time, not just civilly in a lawsuit, because the cops don't pay for that anyway because they use their qualified immunity, and they never have to pay anything. So, all right. I think we've beat that horse. What do you think, Nikki?
yeah, I think we've beat that horse, and we still haven't come to any. Yeah, give me just a second. And qualified immunity. Let me find it. Oh, Rogue, please comment. Thank you. Did you see that Alaska police lie? Then a security cover up was uncovered weeks later, and then the cops had to change their story.
I just watched that yesterday on the Civil Rights Lawyer.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I'll have to watch that. I've been busy with my move and trying to get settled and everything like that. So I haven't really been on YouTube as much as I'd like.
That's right. You're moving into the neighborhood of Wrights Crispy, and you got a police in that neighborhood too that lives there as well. So it's like, that's going to be an interesting place to live.
Yeah, I'm already anticipating going out and laying down the law in my new town. So
I love it.
I can give you the Cliff Notes version of that Alaska thing if Mr. Williams doesn't mind the phrase.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Mister. I'd like to hear that story because I haven't got to see it either yet.
Cops were called to the scene of a domestic violence incident, and the guy did go outside. He was holding a rifle. The cops claimed he pointed the rifle at them and they shot him. They killed him. They had the news press conference and said he came outside, pointed a long gun at police, and they had to shoot him. Later, a neighbor had, I don't know if it was ring camera footage or what, showed he never lifted the rifle, and they shot him. So that's the basic thing of what happened there. That's what's going on in Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, that sounds pretty much standard operating procedure. And again, without the neighbor's camera, we would be left to, wonder, did this guy really raise his rifle or not? Because they lie so damn much now. How is the American people to trust these guys when they continuously lie? You know what I mean? It just boggles my mind. If somebody lies to me once, I'm not gonna just give them free reign to tell me anything they want, and I just believe it. So, I mean, they're really doing a disservice to the American public by, not just being truthful. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It to me, it boggles my mind, brother.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. Why do they do these things? It's kind of, and I keep hearing this too. Do psychopaths become cops, or do they become psychopaths from being a cop?
Well, I believe a little bit of both, because once you're in that position and you're seeing the things that you're seeing, and you're seeing how your coworkers react to those decisions and how they do their stuff, it really influences, how you do your job, because we're social creatures.
Yep, and we become who we associate with. That old adage, you become who you associate with, right?
Exactly. And as we all know, cops don't hang out with non-cops, right? I mean, if they're family, then maybe. But otherwise, they go to cop bars, they hang with their cop friends, and, prosecutors and judges and, people of that ilk. They don't usually hang out with the common people because most people can't stand them. You know what I mean? Because even when they're not on duty, they're always prodding and trying to, hit somebody up for something. You know what I mean? To try to boost their own lot in life, So, they rub elbows with psychopaths, and pretty soon that stuff rubs off, because, hey, it's accepted, right? Just like, they thought it was acceptable to shoot the guy in Alaska, even though he hadn't raised their weapon. So, I mean, is it illegal to have a long arm in Alaska? Probably not. Is it illegal to be outside with a long arm in Alaska? Probably not. But I'm going to shoot you anyway.
Yeah, shoot first, ask questions later.
A funny thing, though, about the human mind, I would not be surprised if one or all those cops have a memory of that guy pointing the gun at them. I mean, that kind of thing happens to all of us. You remember something, and then later you find out, oh, that's not quite the way I remember it.
Like a false memory?
Yeah, I think especially in a situation like that where the adrenaline's flowing and stuff, that it's a weird thing. But I mean, like you say, though, they get away with it so often, even with camera.
They just tend to lie about everything too.
Yeah. Well, which was Rogue's point. You can't believe anything they say anymore because they've been proven wrong so much.
Yeah, they've already lost the trust. I mean, James Freeman was saying, stay away from them with your camera because we don't want to catch them doing something wrong, so that they do something to us, because the general public just doesn't want them to lose trust in them when they do things wrong. So you can't be filming them, okay? We know he's being facetious. That's his sense of humor, but yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason why they don't want any cameras around them, because they're doing a lot of wrong things.
Back in the 1800s, when guys like you and I were just growing up,
Yeah.
They used to always tell, at least my parents, that, oh, you get lost, go find a cop. Oh, you're having, go find a cop. Go find a cop. He'll take care of you. Yeah. I don't think people say that as much anymore.
No. In fact, a lot of people say, don't ever call the police because they'll just make the situation worse.
Yeah.
And they do typically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's been.
That's a sad thing to have to say, right? Don't call the police that are supposed to protect and defend, because they won't protect and defend. They'll collect and do something to you. I mean, you hear it. Who says it all the time? Here's the deal: they collect and what else? What else is? You guys, somebody help me out in the chat because I'm trying to remember it. They collect and I don't know. It's something egregious, though. I know that. So, like, they like to violate our rights. And I don't know why. Other than they're freaking psychopaths and just want to get us thrown in jail because I mean, you do know that there's profit in it, right, guys? There's private jails, private prisons.
Yes.
They're all contracted with governments, and there's a lot of money in it for these private companies. And if you can, give a little money to the people in the power that have that will get you the contract to build a prison, and you give them a little kickback for getting it done, it's very profitable to have more people in the jail, right? Because of those contracts, and the government wants it because they get, those corrupt officials get those payback. They get that kickback. It's all corrupt. It's all corruption. Somebody's got a plane going overhead. I can hear it.
And Qualified said it was collect and violate.
Collect and violate. Yeah, there you go. All right. Collect and harass. That too. I think I remember the collect and harass more than I do the collect and violate. But I know that that's not quite the right words either on either one of those. Good enough.
I can't remember who it was. There was a crazy lady on our panel, I think just yesterday, and we were talking about this stuff. And a big part of the problem too is it's us and them anymore. The cops have decided that they are at war with the civilian population. There's that big divide. Well, like you were saying earlier, they just hang out with each other, but it's this whole thing where they just see all of us as enemies, I think.
Yeah, us against them. Only they haven't notified us that in a overt way that we're the enemy. Instead, they put plexiglass up in their windows at all the public entities, and you got to go through the courthouses. In a lot of cases now, you got to go through the
detectives.
Yeah, and make sure you don't have a gun. And this is why they're afraid of us, because they're not doing the right things and they know it. So they got to protect themselves because they've declared war on the American people. They're tyrannical, and they just don't come flat out and tell us anymore. They just
one of the hypocrisies I always like to remember when it first started becoming a thing where they put, like traffic cams up, or they put security cameras around. And, the cops always like to say, if you're not doing anything wrong, then it shouldn't bother you. Now, all of a sudden, we've got the cameras. And what are they saying? Oh, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's like, well, hey, Mr. Blue Uniform, if you're not doing anything wrong.
Yep. Howard County Observer, I do know that. ADD doesn't allow me to remember it sometimes. So I know that sounds like an excuse, but it is a real thing.
Just like ADD doesn't allow me to talk a lot of times.
Oh, yeah, I forget you're there, Nick. No, I'm joking. I know you're there. No,
But
go ahead.
Howard
It also
County,
doesn't. Go ahead. Sorry.
Howard County, I was gonna say he gets reminded of that every time that we're on, and it does tend to wear off. So please understand. He can ask a question, and then if there's no answers right away,
I'm
he's
patience of a
very
rattlesnake.
impatient.
I have timed it up to 20 seconds. But by the way, Nikki, I think one of the reasons too you're not allowed to talk is because you forget you have a mute button and never take it off.
Yeah. Say
No.
something, Nikki. Come on.
No, I'll unmute and then somebody else will say something, so I'll mute again. But no, you're right. I did already catch myself tonight saying I'm carrying on a conversation without my mute button. So
There, Rogue is back. All right.
now with
Yeah,
all of
Wanda
that
Mize.
we've discussed,
Let me address Wanda Mize here.
okay.
Yeah, I've got severe tremors, Wanda Mize. So that's one of the reasons why I have. Now, if I could do this, I can control it, but then my head starts shaking more. So, but yeah, I've got severe tremors, and that's one of the main reasons why I needed a business partner. Nikki has been a perfect fit for me because she knows how to push the buttons, and she does a lot of work on the back end too, guys. Just keep that in mind. She most of the time will answer all the emails coming in. And she does a lot of research for me, especially when we're in a live. She'll pull up something that I'm asking, where's the laws on this, and she'll pull it up. So she's a huge help, and she reminds me, hey, give them 8 seconds at least to answer your question in the chat. So go ahead, Nikki.
Well, all I was gonna say, and Rogue, now that you're back again, maybe you can help answer this. We've had a great discussion, but we've gotten off of our main topic, which is what are the effective ways that we as a community need to do to create change in government?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can now. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Well, first thing I think we need to do is we need to participate, which means to go to our city and council meetings. We need to participate in, digging through the records and finding out, what's wrong and then how to change it so that it gets fixed.
Rogue, did you see my Sunday show? Were you in the chat?
I could have
Sunday?
been.
Yeah.
I could have been.
Great minds think alike. You might not have heard me say, hey, I'd like every auditor in the country out there to pick a month of when they'll go to a city council meeting to test it out, right? To see, maybe come to them with some sort of an issue, make a public comment, see if they're going to violate your rights or honor your rights to be able to speak in a public meeting. And I was trying to get everybody to send me emails to let me know what month they would be willing to do it so we can kind of track it. And I think that would bring more unity within the 1A community to just try one thing and see whether or not it's going to be effective. What do you think about that idea?
I mean, I like it. I mean, I believe, everybody should at least, go to their city council meetings to see what's going on. It's hard to know what's going on in your local government if you're just relying on your local news to tell you.
Yeah.
So
a lot of corruption going on, but the local news never says anything either. It's all over the country, right?
Right. So the first step, I think, is identifying what problems there are, because not all cities have the same problem. Some cities, they might be overspending on their credit card. Another city might be lax on their building codes to certain builders, you know, and if that's causing an issue with wastewater or traffic or, you know, things like that. So, yeah, you know, what I tend to notice is that, you know, the corruption is everywhere and anywhere. And it doesn't matter. It could be a Parks and Recs guy that, you know, are filling up gas cans to take home and, you know, fill up in their personal vehicles instead of the county lawnmowers. So, I think the first issue is we need to identify the issues that we want to raise and look into. And the first step there is, you know, just to identify the issue that each city and town has. I think a great example is that Channel I on Margate, and he's identified a few issues by going to his city council meetings. So I think that's a beginning for everybody.
Yeah. I would just like to pick a month though where everybody does it across the nation. I think there'd be a lot of exposure where, and I think it would prove that the 1A community and activists can unite and do something together at one time. I mean, it's not going to be at one time because every city council meeting has a different day, a different time. But if we can, or they only do it once or twice a month. So if we could just pick a month and just have every auditor that wants to be part of this, send us an email and pick your month that you want to do it. And then we'll kind of get an idea of what month we want to choose. And then if you can do it, do it. If you can't, then okay this time, but at least try to get as many auditors in the auditing community to do it, and then make sure that you publish it, and then we'll put it on our channel too, and really prove that the 1A community and activists and investigative journalists can get together and in a coordinated effort do something together. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we haven't gotten a lot of emails from auditors saying that they would commit to something like that and what month they would like to do it. So, and again, our email is thevigilancecommittee1864@gmail.com. And if a mod could put that email into the chat, that would be great. All right, and you think that's a good idea too, Rob?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, sir. And I want to hop off here because I'm driving and it's windy and I don't want to mess up the show, but I do want to say that, you know, that bad Apple media guy, he was talking about state nationalists. And for those folks listening that don't know, that's a movement, a part of a sovereign citizen movement started by a gentleman named L.B. Ford, who wrote a book called The Red Amendment. And in the book, he blames America's troubles on the 14th Amendment. And he tries to say that before the 14th Amendment, the citizens in the states were free people. And that's been debunked so many times that's not even funny. I actually challenged that guy to a debate years ago. And he ran like a bitch because he just can't defend it.
So that's why he loves to filibuster and not let anybody else even be part of the conversation.
Yeah, they've been around forever. L.B. Ford wrote his book about 30 years ago. It's called The Red Amendment. You can find it online, but it's just a bunch of hogwash. I mean, he might even be a government plant for all I know.
Ah, okay. And we know they're out there too. Yeah. All right.
So thanks for thank everybody for watching, and I'll get to you guys soon.
All right. Thanks, Rogue. Thanks for joining us tonight.
You got it, buddy. Yes, sir. Later, guys.
Utah Defender in the chat.
For anybody who couldn't understand Rogue, let me translate his robot. It was thank you guys for having me up here, and thank you guys for paying attention, and thank you guys for supporting. So that's what Rogue said.
That's
Can I-
Rogue.
Can I
Classic.
also mention that for those of you who flunked 8th grade, the 14th Amendment that he said this guy claims took away our freedom is the amendment that basically said everybody is a citizen no matter what your color and so forth.
Equal rights equal rights. Dang it, it's basically you can't treat any one citizen differently than any other citizen. That's the 14th Amendment. The 13th Amendment was to free to abolish slavery completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good point. And a lot of people don't know this because they don't ever read the Constitution. So, all right. Oh, tyrants beware. Oh, okay. Sorry, he wasn't paying attention. I know you're probably having a different conversation, tyrants beware, but I just noticed that and wanted to share it.
No, he was on break. He just came in. He's on break now. And then no, he wasn't paying attention because he doesn't have any money. That's why he's on break now.
There you go. He's paying attention. I got you. That was funny.
And full court press, that is a good point. Unfortunately, we do have to find out what the plants are. You know, like the angry vet who just so happens to be, you know, a narc. You know, so.
Well, he's the worst.
I'm sorry, he's a fed.
Can I mention? I just saw the thing go by. Someone said something about the city council. On that point, I used to go to all my local council meetings and all my school board meetings, and it is sad how few people show up for that stuff.
Yeah. I've watched videos of my city council meetings, and there might be 3 or 4 people in the audience.
Yep.
It's but I watch them online, and maybe a lot of other people watch them online too, and they don't have any interest in speaking. But if we're going to do this, and I get a lot of emails from auditors saying they'll pick a month and dedicate themselves to go into a city council meeting, I will go to my city council meeting. And I will speak. Might not have a lot to say, but I'll let them know who I am, and not give them my name, but I'll let them know I'm there. I'm a citizen. I'm here to observe. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that maybe you call them up and tell them that you're a disabled individual and you'd like to attend by virtual, and you'd like to speak to the council virtually. See if they'll make reasonable accommodations for you.
That's a great idea. Maybe that could be a plan for anyone else too that doesn't know what to do at a city council meeting. Maybe they could do that too. That's a great idea. Make sure that city council are making those things available for the disabled.
I think Tab has a good point too. If you get it out there all over the place that September is auditors go to your council meeting month, you know, they might just act differently than they normally do if they know.
That's true.
And Dale Elliott asks, what are you trying to do? Get half of all the community arrested at the same time? So yeah, maybe announcing it isn't a good idea. You know, but
and if everybody's sending me emails, they might think I'm a fed or a narc. So,
well, even if they just post it on their channel and then let everyone know, hey, I went to the city council meeting 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago. Here it is.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine too. I
Every
didn't think of that. So
every once in a while, the angry vet has a point.
Yeah.
Not very often, but every once in a while.
You watch out now. You'll get him on the panel. Oh, that's funny. I think a meeting
Yeah, I
playbook
found
would
out.
be a nice touch. Yeah.
Well, angry vet, there you go. You just gave yourself a job. Go ahead and write that playbook for us.
Or maybe get Scars to do it. Yeah.
You
And
might
by the way,
find this.
oh, go ahead, Meister. I'll let
I
you
was
go
just
first.
going to say you might find this hard to believe since you know me a little bit. I've actually had some shouting matches in council meetings.
Oh, you have in council meetings. Wow.
Well,
Do you have a recording of it?
no, this was back before cell phones and that had
Okay.
cameras all the time.
Okay. And you're right, Angry Vet. Not everyone is a. Let me pull that up. Not every person is a good speaker. So to have a
Yeah.
bullet point speech would be great. Yeah, we should
Hey,
have
Nikki,
bullet
that's a
point.
great idea.
Yeah. Nikki said that.
No, I think I forget his name. I think it was the other guy said something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he was talking to
saying-
Nikki.
Yeah, I was suggesting that that'd be great for Nikki to do because she's such a whiz at looking things up and research and writing and everything.
She could do a playbook, yeah. Get some input from a lot of the auditors out there.
That might be an interesting panel show to get some people who are knowledgeable
Yeah.
in the area and give some tips on what you should do if you go to a meeting.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe we'll have an open panel about that.
And talk about both ways to attend the meeting, virtually and in person.
Yep. All right, so let's
And
go ahead
Wanda,
and put.
hang
no,
on.
Go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
Wanda, that is actually what we are trying to do with our open panels. Our open panels are open. That means not just our community members, but our supporters. You know, if our support or the supporters or however you want to say it, if they have ideas, they can come up and they, you know,
Yeah,
they
it's
can
not
come
just
up
for auditors
and
or
right,
channel
they can
owners. Yeah.
channel owners, they can come up and tell the channel owners, you know, this is what we want to see. This, you guys are so good at doing this, but maybe we want to see more of this kind of thing. And Angry Vet, I said that earlier in this show. I do not like the word, you know, First Amendment auditor. Number one, like you said, it has become a bad word to the public. But
All right,
we do need to
investigative
come up.
journalists, activists, because we use those words too. So you can identify as whatever you want to identify as. But we've got to identify who we're going to support as our channel, right? So, I mean, we have to put a label on something. Otherwise, people won't know who we're supporting and why. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people are running from 1A auditor. They keep saying, I'm not an auditor. Don't tell me I'm an auditor because the government is saying that the auditors are bad. Well, I say, who gives a rip what the government thinks? I would wear it as a badge of honor, but
I
teach their own.
I think I just said to Nikki the other night that I never really did like the term, but I don't know who started it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to put yourself in a label or a box like that. It's just, I mean, we have to say what we're for, right, as a channel, because we want to support those individuals out there that are holding our government um, to task, being watchdogs, making sure they're not violating people's rights, making sure that they're doing their jobs correctly and with nobility. Um, Watchdogs, I don't know. I mean,
Mm.
if we can get rid of auditor, I guess, but some of them really are auditors, though. They do. They just show up to see if somebody's going to violate their rights. In fact, that's what Long Island does. He just shows up to a place and he tests this. He tests them. He audits them to figure out whether or not they're going to uphold the Constitution and not violate his civil rights and or not have to treat him with respect. That's.
I was gonna say the same thing Tav put over there.
And I think a lot of people respect his approach. But yeah, constitutionalist. I've always said I'm a constitutionalist. I mean, I've never. At one point, I said I was a libertarian. I've never been a Republican or a Democrat. But I do strongly believe in the Constitution. I don't think we've ever used it though. But yeah, I'm a constitutionalist. So, and Finkel would probably be appalled that I was. Um, I didn't think that the January Sixers were all that out of line. I think most of them had intentions of just going there to assemble, talk about their, it's like protest. They were there to protest, and it kind of got out of hand. But a lot of people are in prisons that didn't do any damage. They were waved in, and they were just like tourists walking through the building taking pictures. So,
Well, if I had another 5 hours, I might argue with you about it. But
yeah, and at least we know that it would be a civil discussion, and hopefully it wouldn't devolve into an argument. But you never know.
as long as we keep Nikki out of it, because you know how she gets.
You know what,
yeah.
Muxter? I can make you shut up, and I can make Cliff shut up.
She has the power.
Anyway, Utah Defender asked Cliff from Sunday's show, did we get very many suggestions to improve us as auditors? There's that
In
word
other
again.
words, at least to affect change within our government.
We got
what's
2
the
emails.
best approaches? Yeah, we got 2 emails, Utah Defender. So I think most people, I don't know. It's hard to put a finger on it. Maybe they just didn't want to email because they thought it might be a Fed, and they didn't want to, they don't trust me yet. Even though I've been doing this for 2.5 years, 3 years now. And it's fine. Not everybody's going to want to respond to what I do. I'm just a teeny tiny channel. She makes me push buttons. Oh, yeah, the angry vet. Yeah, she does. But
the main thing that the ideas that we're seeing between the emails that we got and the comments,
yeah,
I think there were 8 or 12 comments. I can't remember which. Is education.
It is.
Educating the public about their rights, because then
That's going to affect the most change. Yeah.
as we educate the public is bigger than the government, because we the people are actually supposed to be the ones who run the country. So we have to educate the public what their rights are, which would make more people realize that what they're being forced to swallow by the lawmakers and everybody is going against their rights.
I think Vet had a good story about how things have turned around a little bit for at least one cop.
What's the other thing that I forgot, Tav? Okay, maybe full court answered it for you. Educating, not harassing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Educating. Uh-oh.
Here comes trouble.
So, thanks for having me up, Cliff and Nikki. I all of a sudden something just happened. I have to leave now. I can't remember what it is.
Have a nice day. Don't let the door hit you.
Oh, I think Buckster was joking, so I think he's.
I
gonna
know. Before I watched House of Dragons, I just wanted to add one more thing to the education part.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
We're listening. Yeah.
All right. So I know a lot of people, say they're not in this for the money, right? Well, that needs to change, because when we start raping and pillaging the coffers of these agencies that are mostly egregiously attacking our civil rights and stuff like that, once we start taking this money away from them, then they have to start going into their other resources for the money to pay out, for their wrongdoings. And once they start dipping into their own pockets and their own coffers, that takes away money from, let's say, some budget that puts more money in their pocket. I don't have an example, but once they don't have that backing from the insurance companies, and the premiums start going up because such and such department, and it's not just one hit, it's got to be like several hits okay, yeah, that's great, you got $10,000 from so and so police department. That's not going to cut it. There needs to be, okay, this department needs to be fixed, and the only way to do it is to keep going at that department or that agency to the point where they're dipping into their own little budgets that are behind the scenes, because the insurance companies have either raised the premiums so high to where they can't afford to have these kind of fuck ups, or they just drop them all together, and now they start paying out of their own pockets, these cities and municipalities and stuff like that. What then happens after that is they have to raise taxes in order to provide that money back into the budget, and or use it for X amount of dollars for their fuck ups. Then
and
the people are going to say, right,
system.
then the people are going to say, why are you raising my taxes? And they'll have to answer to that. They'll have to answer, well, this is why we're raising our taxes, because so-and-so took $3 million from us last month. And 6 months before that, this department cost us this much money, and yada, yada, yada. Then the people will start waking up, and they don't want their taxes to be going towards, paying lawsuits and shit like that.
So I think Chris has a good idea here, and I want to lead this into going to public meetings too. So do a FOIA request, find out how much the insurance companies are paying out for police liability payments, and before and after large payouts. So that we can redress our local government as to what they're going to do about it before it really becomes a problem. right?
Yeah, it's follow up. It's follow through. Like a lot of these cats aren't following through. You know, they come into town, they get their content and their footage and possibly an arrest, and they get their little lawsuit and they get paid, you know, $5,000-$10,000. Have a nice day. Don't come back. And they don't follow, you know, nobody follows up on these departments. Nobody follows up on these agencies to find out, okay, this happened to me. Let's find out how many other people this happened to this year. Let's find out how, you know, how much money is being spent on civil litigation. Nobody's doing that.
No, and I think we should, but by the same token, I think our first demand when our auditors, especially, or investigative journalists, activists, whatever you want to call yourselves, if you get unlawfully arrested, that is a deprivation of rights, civil rights under color of law. We need to start demanding criminal charges, and we need to put pressure on our prosecutors to actually do it as well, and sue.
That's a very tough battle, and really there needs to be a lot more put in place before we even consider taking on that.
No, I don't think
challenge.
so. I think we can still take on that battle too. Yeah.
No, it's a losing battle, bro. It's a fight that can't be won unless certain that are like very finite things are in place. I mean, like you can have a judge step out of his jurisdiction and still have a losing case on trying to get charges put against them. It's very, very tough. It's something
I know.
that
We need to figure out how to do it. Is what we need to figure out.
I don't think we should waste our time trying to figure that out just
these
yet.
officers, you can sue them into oblivion. They never pay the frickin' bill. They've got qualified immunity. They're not going to change. They're still going to deprive people of their rights. They're still going to unlawfully arrest them and abuse them and do all these things. It's not going to change the way our people are being treated by just suing them.
That's why I said it is going to change just by suing them. Because listen, we don't have the people on our side right now. The people is not on.
We've done
They're
those
not on our
things.
side.
We've won lawsuits. It still hasn't changed anything.
No, you've won lawsuits here and there, scattered here and there. Nobody has organized to come in. Like when you have, say, for instance, like Cecil County, right, that I'm dealing with right now. Let's take this for an example. All right. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to sue the ever living shit out of them. Okay. But do you think I'm going to make the change just through my fucking lawsuit? No, exactly. We need to get together and come in, pinpoint the problems, get rid of the problems, and attack, and rape the coffers to the point where the taxpayer, the people, will actually be able to see it, because they don't see it now. They don't see it now because of all the NDAs that get signed and all this other garbage, you know, that the government uses to hide their bullshit. Nobody sees that, bro. The news doesn't pick up on it. The media won't cover any of the bullshit. Every once in a while when it's really egregious, you know, and or, you know.
Can you see Utah Defenders question there? Or basically,
it's very,
No,
very
we can't.
tiny.
We all need attorneys. Can you guys find attorneys in your area to support you? They can in Salt Lake City.
That's what we're working
in my
on.
area.
That's one of the main reasons why I started the nonprofit, so we could have a network of attorneys trusted and vetted through us that we know will work for us and won't, you know, stray off on their own tangent. Because if they're
website into the chat, please.
If they're working for us and everything has to go through us, You know, they're going to have to sign the attorney's going to have to sign a contract. They're going to have to work through us. What we say goes. You know what I mean? Like if sure, if they write a motion and all the ingredients are in there, we're not going to fuck with it. You know what I mean? But if there's a missing ingredient in there, that's what we want to see. We want to make sure everything gets done the right way, the process, the procedures, all the ingredients are included. You know, those are the kind of lawyers that we want. We don't want lawyers that are going to put on a fucking clown suit and go in, you know, half cocked on shit and think they know what they're doing, you know, writing fucking 1983s when they haven't even secured the fucking client yet and all that kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? We're in 27 states right now, I think. But states are big, you know, states are fucking huge. You like take California, for example. We have somebody in California, but they're up in Northern California. So when something happens down in Southern California, where's the money to fly that motherfucker down there to represent, you know, our client? You see what I'm saying? Like it's a huge process, and I think you know, the further it grows, the bigger it grows, the easier it's going to be. But just the simple fact that you're going to know that the lawyer that's working for you, whether it be us and or somebody that's contracted through us, you're going to know that everything's getting done correctly, period. And that's the bottom line, because these fucking YouTube lawyers ain't the fucking answer. You know, these people that say they fucking know what they're talking about, it ain't the fucking answer, because all they're going to do, I'm not saying I'm not saying all of them are bad. I'm just saying the ones that are actually taking our money, okay, are fucking up. And they're going to ruin this movement, period. End of fucking story. Because they're going to set bad case law.
Right? I mean,
well, yeah, I'm not even going to get into that. You know, I'm not even going to get into that one. I already got 2 on my fucking suspect list already.
Yeah.
So,
so Deb Anderson, so how do you guys feel about Attorney Shield that LIA and Lackluster have brought out? I would like to know what you guys feel about that. Well, I'm going to give you my perspective, and then we'll go around the room. I think it's a good thing. In fact, I signed up for it the day they announced it. I haven't had to use it, but I've seen things on Galveston Island Transparency where it worked effectively for him. Customer service was great. And an attorney popped up right away, and the cop did interact with the attorney because pretty much they had to. It's an attorney on the line. You can see a picture of them. They're standing there. They're sitting there and saying, "Hey, what are you doing? You know, what's this about?" So I think it's a good thing, and I've heard their customer service is really good too. I can't rate them yet. I don't know if it's going to work for me. But so far, from the results that I've seen so far, it's been working. Just a couple of glitches about saving the video for Galveston Island. But other than that, I've got a good opinion of it. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I don't know, though. I don't know. It's so far I've seen good things from it. I even seen somebody not get their house gone into and raided, basically. Because there was a lawyer through Legal Shield. So what do you think, Angry Vet? And then Muckster, you can go after that.
So I think that any product or app that is going to make somebody feel better about challenging a police officer or law enforcement or anything legal is a bonus. I think that in that aspect, I think it's a plus. I have some questions about it, and maybe I'll get to talk to him one day about it or something like that. But I met Long Island Audit up in Jersey a couple weeks ago, and let me tell you something. I was probably one of his biggest critics, to be honest with you. I really didn't like the guy for lots of reasons, and he kind of changed. Just in a few minutes of talking with the guy, he kind of changed my view and outlook on him a little bit, and I do think that they're trying. However, there was this same concept was conceived back in 2009. I think it's called like Defender Shield or Emergency Shield or something to that effect. So I don't know how different it is. I didn't sign up. I'm not buying stock or anything like that. I like to see things ride for a while before I buy into them or anything like that. But I think it's a great tool for the average, Joe Schmo that really doesn't know much about, standing on your rights and or protecting yourself from law enforcement.
Brandon Mitchell apparently has read their terms of service. It says, read Attorney Shield's terms of services. It says you forfeit your right to a jury trial. Not throwing shade. I'm just saying it's effed up. So I haven't read that, so I don't know. I don't see why they would do that. Forfeit your right to a jury trial.
Well, it sounds like something like, I don't know. I did watch a video once about Attorney Shield. I think it might have been on Lackluster's page, but the attorney that was on the phone, I don't even think she was in the same state as the driver. And that was a little concerning to me. I don't know if they fixed that or not. But
yeah, they probably fixed that. They probably knew they needed to, because that sounds like a problem. Because if the attorney is not licensed in that particular state and they come on the phone, ouch.
But hey, look, I'm all for anything that helps your common citizens feel better.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't changed my opinion. I'm not canceling my membership. So, yeah, I would like to know more about it. Hopefully they'll put out some more videos and explain some of the things, some of the questions that people are having. That'll be a good thing.
I mean, look, you're always going to have questions about new stuff, right? I mean, like, I'm sure there's shit ton of questions about scars and whys and whats and yada yada yada, but I think the more people that stand up and actually do stuff like this, I think the better off we're going to be as we the people in a community. You can literally see how it's helping, and it's not just a video for clicks and views, you know what I mean? Like it's tangible is what I'm trying to say. Like things like that are tangible. Like you can actually put your fucking hands on them and use them and feel good about it,
I like this one, Utah Defender. That is so flattering. Cliff and Nikki, why don't you invite Long Island Auditor and Lackluster to come on your show and explain Attorney Shield and if there's any pitfalls to it? Yes, the invitation is open. They are welcome on my teeny tiny little channel at any moment, at any time. In fact, I would probably throw everybody off the panel and just allow them on. I'm joking. No, I would love to have them on, and they can go further into this, but they're probably pretty busy. They probably don't Yeah. I know that the angry vet at one point tried to email Long Island, and Long Island probably gets so many emails he might not even look at them anymore. He's probably got people for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know,
Okay,
they're pretty
now
busy guys.
Muckster, what is your idea of Attorney Shield, if you even know what it is?
Yeah.
I know what it is. I'm pretty much like Tav. I like the idea of it. I don't know enough about it in particular to say whether or not I think what they did is a good idea. And like I haven't read the terms of service like Brandon did, but I like the idea. I like it'd be great if as many people as possible have easy access to a lawyer. And when we get a chance, there's something else I want to come back to about suing, but can continue with this first.
Okay. What do you think about it, Nikki?
And I tend to agree both with Brandon and everybody who's saying read your terms of service. Right there, and Brandon also has put it, is these provisions will, with limited exception, require you to waive your right to a jury trial. If I read the terms of service and I saw that, then no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a wonderful program. It probably is a wonderful program, like Tav said, for people who don't get pulled over all the time, who don't stand up or stand on their rights. For the regular Joe Schmo who might get pulled over for a speeding violation, it would probably work. But no, I'm sorry. With that terms of service, that one right there, nope, not gonna do it.
I mean, yeah, it's like, if you like, if you have, like, here's another, let me just throw this out there. I mean, if you have the wherewithal to sign up for something like that, or have that in your back pocket or whatever, then you should have the wherewithal to just shut your fucking mouth and, say, hey, just give me the fucking ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
it's
here's what I think about that too. I think also maybe I can understand why a company would say that something like that, because liability issues maybe, or the cost for that company to send out a lawyer for a jury trial and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know why they're doing that. There's got to be a good reason for it. I mean,
Well, is it, do they, I mean, like, when you call and get that lawyer, do you have that lawyer, or are they giving you a lawyer to go to court for the ticket, or like, how does all that work? I don't know how any of it
See,
works.
I don't know that part either. I thought it was just really for the traffic stop itself, to just have an attorney on the line to handle that stop. But if
That's what
anything
I
had
thought.
to go further, I don't think they would.
I wonder, is it they're making contracts with the lawyer that basically if you use the shield, you now have hired that lawyer? Does that make sense? Is that why they're saying that? Because I'm like you. I thought it was a thing so that you had that lawyer saying to the cop, no, he does not have to take a sobriety tester. No, you are not allowed to search the car, or that sort of thing. That provision makes no sense to me either.
These are great questions that they could probably answer if they ever see our show. So everybody
Utah
share
Defender.
to Long Island Audit and Lackluster. Go ahead, Nikki.
Utah Defender. Yes, I am sure what the terms of service are, and I'm actually going to present them. I pulled them up.
Okay. And as you're doing that, there's one other person that hasn't given us their opinion on what they think Attorney Shield, whether it's good or not. Go ahead, Phoenix.
I really got nothing to say about it. I don't know anything about it. I handle my own pretty good.
No worries. Right.
And I'm already getting the stink eye. I'm already like a half hour behind on. I'm supposed to be watching damn dragons.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Angry Vet. We appreciate you.
All right. I love you all. Adios.
Right.
See ya.
All right.
Take care of that.
I love
you,
that
Angry
guy.
Vet. See you later. So here are the Attorney Shield terms of service. As you can see, it is their website. Actually, let me go back so I can show you the website. Well, maybe.
There it is.
Attorney Shield member or our partners, Lackluster Long Island Audit. At the bottom, you go to terms of service. And in big bold print, please be
Well,
advised,
at least
this
they didn't
agreement,
put it in
blah,
fine
blah,
print.
blah. These provisions will, with limited exception, require you to waive your right to a jury trial.
Can we continue on that? I want to see the whole thing here.
Yeah. Submit claims you have against Attorney Shield to binding and final arbitration on an individual basis, not as a plaintiff or class member in any class, group, or representative action or proceeding.
Okay. So they're making it pretty clear, and they're not putting it in fine print, so they're being upfront about it, which I think is a plus. Because normally contracts like that, they put everything in really tiny print, so you don't even notice it. A lot of people don't read terms of service either. Cliff, you didn't read the terms of service, so because I don't read that stuff. Nikki knows I can't read anyway, so.
Yes. No, you can read. You read the words. You just
I just don't like to. And sometimes I make them say what I want them to say. Those words need to say what I already believe.
Exactly.
Confirmation bias. Yeah.
Exactly.
Nikki's got to read everything for me because I read it wrong. ADD, I think. I don't know. It's not that I'm stupid. It's just I want things to mean what I want them to mean. When I'm reading history, though, because I love history, I want to read exactly what it's saying, and I want to put it in my brain because I want to know. I have such a obsession with history, especially American history. I just want to know everything. So at some point, people should read the Lewis and Clark expedition, the real story, not just what you learned in school. You'll be shocked at some of the things that were in the journals of Lewis and Clark. It's a lot more interesting than the movies you've seen or the books you've read on it. If you read their journals, wow, you get everything.
Anyway, Cliff, it's been 3 hours.
Yeah. Yep.
And
So
I
we
know-
beat that horse. I know you got to get up in the morning.
Yeah, and I know you want to go get a cigarette.
Oh wow, I have been sitting here for 3 hours, haven't I? Okay. Yes, I do.
Can I make one really quick point on what we were talking about? As far as affecting change, it's a small thing. He's kind of become a bit of a niche thing, but I think most people know who Jeff Gray is. But one of the things he does, whenever
OG.
he does have lawsuits about them arresting him for having his, Pray for Vets sign and stuff, he doesn't so much go for big money, but he makes them change their city ordinances and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And that's a way to affect change too. He's doing a little at that time, but I think that's what more people should do when they have a good lawsuit is say, look, instead of 250,000, I'll take 50,000 and you get rid of that damn law, you know, that kind of thing. And of course he doesn't have those big amounts. I'm just as an example.
Well, sometimes he does. And then still he, $1,791. Sometimes he'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then sometimes he'll, and you got to have police training. And we also want a public apology. I mean, he does things like that where, he makes that change happen, and you got to get rid of your ordinance.
Yes.
So he's very, very good at that. I love Jeff Gray. I'd love to have him on our show. And I will show his body of work, whether he wants to come on or not. I'm going to show his body of work because I think everybody should know about Jeff Gray.
Yes.
Yeah. And thank you for bringing that up, Muxter, because he doesn't get talked about a lot. And he is an OG. I mean, he's one that got Rogue Nation started was Jeff Gray. So, I mean, yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and end the stream. Thanks for that, Utah Defender. And
thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, Muxter. Love to have you. And Phoenix, it was good to have you on the panel. Get with Nikki, send her an email about when you can come on the show on a Sunday when we're not having an open panel and a specific topic. And let's because I am interested in the whole thing, both videos. I want to show them both and go over the details of them, make it a full show just for you and us. Okay. So, and just figure out what Sunday you can do that. It's always 1:30 Central Time. So get with her with that if you want. And do you have any last words that you want to say before we go ahead and end the stream? You're muted, by the way.
Maybe he fell asleep.
He might have. I mean, 3 hours. All right. Let's go ahead and play our long outro. If you haven't heard it before, I think you'll like it.
I want to say thank you to everyone for spending 3 hours with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nikki, I apologize. Go ahead, and if you've got any other parting words. I'm just, I forget to do these things. I don't know why.
But no, like I said, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Muxter, for coming up. You're not FAC, but that's okay. You'll do. Phoenix, thank you for coming up, whether you can hear us or not. Everybody have a great night. Wanda, don't forget to send me that email with your phone number so we can get that taken care of. And you guys all have a wonderful night and be safe out there. Go ahead.
Oh my God, she's just going on and on and on. Here comes the outro.
In the heart of the Vigilance Committee, where the sun sets low and the spirits run free, we stand together, hand in hand, watching over the sacred land. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. Through the storms and the darkest night, we'll shine our light, we'll stand and fight. For the ones we love, for the ones we've lost. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll bear the cost. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. Through the storms watch, we'll hold on tight. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll stand tall. Together we'll rise, together we'll fall. We're the keepers of the flame. In the Vigilance Committee, we'll never be the same. Through the trials and the tests, we'll always give our best. In the heart of the Vigilance Committee, where the sun sets low and the spirits run free, we'll stand together, hand in hand, watching over the sacred in the heart of the Vigilance Committee, where the sun sets low and the spirits run free, we'll stand together, hand in hand, watching over the sacred land.